Someone let me use human. I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through you? I'm superhuman, innovative, animated, rubber solid. Everything you say is ricocheting off of me and it'll glue to you. I'm devastating, more than ever demonstrating how to get a motherfucking audience. A villain that's levitating, never fading, and I know it's hated from everything for the day. They can say I fell if they're celebrating, cause I know the way they get motivated. I make elevator music. You make elevator music.
Oh, he's too mainstream, but that's what they do when they get jealous, they confuse it.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh my god, my microphone sensitivity is all the way up. Why don't I check these things before I start? What's wrong with me? Sorry, it's like super loud, I just realized. It does it all the time, it just decides it wants to change its sensitivity and then I have to go and change it. It's great. Hello, how are we doing? How are we doing? How's everyone doing? How are we all? version 2, episode 2 of the CreepShowArt drama. I covered this last week. Or last week, a few days ago now. And I went over the allegations that were made against her. Those allegations being that she was basically on forums, right? And she was on forums and she was allegedly posting about herself as well as others and saying like really horrible things about her friends. Now this was according to the lolcow mods. Or the admins even, and to what extent you want to hold their word in higher regard is up to you. I personally don't hold it very highly. In fact, I don't hold it in high regards at all. And I would have liked to see more proof, but obviously lots of people do believe them, especially because Shannon's response was so goddamn awful. It was, it essentially overshadowed any chances of, like, essentially overshadowed any chances of people believing her, because her excuses or response made no sense, or to the majority of people it made no sense, and the way she reacted to some of her friends also didn't make any sense, which is what I was going to get into. What have I done here? I think it's just the website. First of all, she's bleeding videos. First of all, she's deleting a load of videos. This was obviously the 2nd of June. So this was 10 days ago here. But this was more recent, the 9th and 10th of June. She deleted almost 1 million views worth of videos. That's interesting to see. It's interesting to know what those videos are. I'm not sure we'll get into that in a bit. And also here, in terms of subscribers, she's bleeding pretty fucking hard. 30k subs lost in the last like week and a half. It's not fucking good. So clearly people just aren't fucking buying her story, right? To move on to like further updates, these are many from Ashley Lee, who I also talked about last week. Did she delete all of her tweets? I don't know what's happening here. I'm not sure. She got into a spat with someone who she thought was one of Shannon's sock accounts. But what I wanted to touch on here was where she talked about... Hello, Twitter? Have I just been blocked or something? What the fuck? Oh. One moment. Shit, hold on. Fuck. I didn't think this through. I have brain damage. 1 second. 1 second. See, this is what happens when you're like fucking dropped at birth. Bad shit. When your mother does coke in the womb. Whilst you're in the womb. Okay. Are we back to normal? Dark shit builds up if a government can't leak. Right, there we go. Oh, AIDS, where is it? So she touched on some of the messages that she had had between her and Shannon. Here she's saying that she's eager for Emily's video, which we will watch in a minute. It's currently premiering. I understand tweets of people questioning why certain things flags to us, are red flags to us. But there's another layer to them that can't be seen on the surface until everyone is ready. There are private conversations. All I can say after this week is what the fuck. So what I'm hearing from this is like behind closed doors, Shannon is saying stuff that is like incriminating her or making her look bad. Shannon told me the other day that she had lolcout on a blockchain for years so that she couldn't view if she wanted to, and it had been a year since she last looked. 3 months ago, she told someone else that she was actively browsing, so that's very interesting. Literally every day, whether we mean to or not, we stumble on more inconsistencies and things told to each of us that don't make sense and feel more as if they were to keep us at bay before anything came out. So what it sounds like here, and this is much more credible than having just like lolcow admins, is like her friends are like coming out and saying like, oh god, yeah, she's kind of like playing us around, right? It's like, why she's not telling us, she's not answering our questions, she's not telling us what's going on, she's now like being caught in contradictions, and obviously that's pretty incriminating if true. And I'm willing to take Ashley at her word. I don't think she's done any you know, she's not like a fucking, there's no reason to disbelieve her at this point. But people are strange for who she is, I don't know. An anonymous account says this means I'm waiting for others to work for me, so if anyone else maybe reads this, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she then says that she's going to be making a video, I think. I believe. Maybe not. Maybe she deleted it. I'm not sure. I think she said she was making a video. I just don't want to make more than one video on this to milk the situation, and would rather cover my findings and what's coming out in one rather than joining the multiple video train. So yeah. Now this has been something, this video here has been something that a lot of people have been looking forward to all week because, and it's a pretty interesting video. Because essentially, this girl here, Emily Artful, like, from what I've seen, she has a pretty squeaky clean record, right? So she's not, like, she's not gotten a lot of drama in the past, I don't think. I don't think that she's been in drama with Shannon before. So from what I can tell, she doesn't really have a reason to lie. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for her to lie. And as a result, I'm much more willing to take her at her word, rather than like lolcow admins or whatever. Like I just don't know. Like people on that website are fucking weirdos. So anyway, so this girl here, she's got some allegations she wants to make. Full warning, like within the first minute, I'm pretty sure she doxes someone. I don't know whether it's doxing or not. I'm just forewarning that I think she's doxing some. I don't know. I don't know whether she's doxing someone. I don't know. I don't know whether this person's a public figure or not. But within the same like minute, she then goes on to make a rape allegation against the same person. So yeah, yeah. Just full warning. She's gonna make a rape allegation within the first minute. Not about Shannon, but about someone Shannon was or is close with. I believe she said in earlier tweets that Shannon is or was dating this person's ex-boyfriend. So there could be like a conflict of there could be like a reason for, like, she might be spiteful or jealous. Now that could be a reason why she might lie. That's the only thing that I could think of. But also, if she's saying that she's been raped by this person, maybe she could be, like, taking her feelings about that and then putting them onto Shannon because Shannon is dating that person or was dating that person. But whatever, we'll get into it. I'm not fucking running defense for Shannon here because if she wants to make herself look like a tit, she can make herself look like a tit. But yeah, that's not for me to do. And I've just realized, if I go into here, and then I go into here, there we go, epic. Okay. Well, let's get started then. Yeah, forewarning, like, she just drops a rape allegation in the first minute, and it's like fucking completely blunt. It caught me by surprise.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily. If you're not familiar with who I am, I have been making art content here on YouTube for the past 6 years. For the majority of those 6 years and several years prior, I had been facing stalking, harassment, and threats from one very recognizable source. For many years, I had no idea who this person was. I had speculations, but they were pretty far off. And because of that, I had to endure that abuse. I went to the police. I was turned away. I spoke to an attorney. They told me it's not going to be worth it taking it to court. I even went as far as hiring a private investigator for a short period of time, and he said the same thing. The PI and the attorney advised me that I needed to start taking screenshots of everything that I could and keeping track of what was happening to me. This story is long, so I recommend you watch it at 1.5 speed if you can. It's long because this stalking campaign has lasted the better part of a decade. And while I didn't know who my stalker was before, now I know who my stalker is. My stalker is Shannon, better known as CreepShowArt, and what I believe to be her current husband, Anthony Parker, who is also my abusive ex-partner. This has been my life. This has been the thing that has terrified me, that has kept me up at night. It was incredibly difficult, but also incredibly cathartic. And Shannon, Anthony, if you're watching this, you have no idea what you guys have done to me. You think it's funny. You think it's something you can laugh about behind the scenes. You think it's retribution because I was a drug addict. You have made my life so much more difficult than it ever needed to be when I was in an incredibly vulnerable place. And what you have done is sick and twisted and cruel. And I hope that you never have the chance to do that to anyone else ever again. When I went into recovery for the final time, I did the work. I worked hard, and I had to take a long, hard look at myself in the mirror. And it wasn't pretty. It was ugly and it was broken, but I had to do it in order to change. Shannon, you need help. And this is me and everyone else asking you to go get help. Not just for yourself, but for the people that you have hurt. You need to take that long, hard look in the mirror like I did and see the ugly, broken pieces. There's no magic glue to put every single piece back together perfectly, but once it's all put back together, there is a clear reflection. I have to say, for legal purposes, that everything in this video is alleged. I just encourage people to look at the evidence and form their own opinions. I also want to say I originally censored Anthony's name in this video. I called him Andrew, just kind of out of a habit. But I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. His handle online is Anthony Parker, and he raped me, and he emotionally abused me and manipulated me when I was most vulnerable. And for the
I'll be honest, I don't know whether that was a smart decision to do or not. I don't know about that one, but I mean, if that's what she's claiming has happened, then I don't know if I can really blame her for wanting to take a bit of retribution against him, I guess, or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think that was a smart idea, I'll be honest. I don't think that was, I don't think I was going to win her any popularity or brownie points. Being like, that's his fucking Twitter, go and get him right now.
better part of
obviously without saying go get him right now.
decade, he tried to make my life a living hell. Thank you, everyone, and here's the video.
But again, like, if what she's saying is true, then it's like, it's a bit more reasonable and understandable that she would want to do that, right?
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be discussing something I never thought I would get a chance to discuss publicly. If you're not sure what this is in reference to, I will link a few videos down below for people better explaining what has gone on. This is in reference to CreepShowArt, or Shannon, as most people know her, and actually my ex-boyfriend, believe it or not, who we will call Andrew. I've kind of had to get to a place where I turn off my emotions in order to just get through this quickly and concisely. I will warn you, I do not have all the receipts for everything. I have a very good handful of receipts pretty much proving that the person who has been stalking, harassing, and threatening me has been Shannon.
That's a very bold claim to make. Now, if she can make it, then holy shit, that blows the story wide open. Okay, prediction before the video goes on. I think that she has concrete evidence that she had a stalker, but I don't think that she'll have concrete evidence that it was Shannon. Now, if she does, then holy shit, like, that's mental, right? But I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think that she has that evidence. I think she has evidence that there was a stalker. She might even have strong evidence that that stalker was her ex-boyfriend, but I don't think that she's going to have strong evidence that it was Shannon. She's just going to make the allegation that it was Shannon with some circumstantial evidence. But I could be wrong. Let's get into it and see. I might very well be wrong.
And my ex-boyfriend, Andrew. Now, people are saying she has a husband, I guess. I do not know if she went on to marry Andrew. I did not keep up with them just because they had traumatized me so much that by the
I believe this is true. I believe she has a husband, but I don't know who it is, and I don't know what their name is or anything.
Time I figured out the person who had been stalking.
Again, saying this guy's full name, if he's not a public figure, probably not the smartest move. I'll be honest.
Me for the better part of a decade was Shannon. I just blocked everything. I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to hear her. I didn't even want to know she existed. I kept it all inside. I blocked her. I blocked him. I wanted nothing to do with them. So I don't know. I haven't watched most of her videos, except ones that are relevant to this, I guess, situation. This is going to be a long story, and it starts in a kind of weird, kind of irrelevant place, and it requires you to know a little bit about me, so I'm just going to try to get through that as quickly as possible. In case you don't know me, hi, my name is Emily. I make art content here on YouTube. I've been doing it for about 6 years.
Yeah, so she makes, like, art videos, like, art tutorial kind of videos as well. I think she makes some of them. And she also does, like, a little bit of, I think, art commentary from what I've seen. So she'll talk about some of the art dramas from what I have picked up. Not very often. It's pretty rare. But stuff like this, behind the canvas, this is kind of commentary stuff. Not commentaries in criticism, but like D'Angelo Wallace giving kind of artists paint over YouTube. That's not a good example of what I'm on about. But she's done a little bit of the art community drama no one knew about or whatever, like stuff like that. It's like a little bit of commentary stuff.
Now.
But she's very much
something that's important that
art-centric.
doesn't seem like would be at all important, but it is. I'm very open. I have struggled with addiction since I was about 14 years old. I am 7 years sober, I guess. I don't have an official sober birthday anymore because there were a few instances of relapse back then. So I just kind of go with 6 years sober, somewhere in there. I also struggled with an eating disorder and some pretty serious mental health issues. I feel like I have a pretty good hold on those things right now, especially my addiction. It feels so far away from me. I feel like I've come very far, and I've done a lot of work on myself. That is the number one thing I advocate on my channel is reflect, and learn to acknowledge and own up to your mistakes. There have been several times on this channel that my own viewers have had to call me out and say, hey, this is shitty. And I've had to really take a good hard look at myself and kind of move forward and do better and work things out in therapy. And, I think that's really important. And that's kind of what my whole YouTube channel is built around. Do art, do what you love, fuck the rest, but also, have the ability to change and grow and be introspective. So I'm going to try to start from the beginning. The beginning timeline is a little bit hazy just because, drugs. So I was somewhere between 18 and 20, I want to say. I was a gig musician making shit all doing that because I still lived at home and I was a student. I took a gig performing at Nickel City Arcade in San Jose because they used to allow the shittiest of bands to perform in their literal birthday room. And Andrew was there with some friends. We ended up hitting it off, and we entered into a very toxic, codependent relationship. I was on a lot of psych meds, and I was also abusing certain prescription medications, specifically sleeping medications. There were several points in the relationship where I had like a full-on mental breakdown from all the cocktail of drugs going on in my system, and I basically expressed that I am deeply unhappy. I don't know if this relationship is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm very vulnerable, and every time that would happen, we would cry, we would hug, and we would go right back to that codependent relationship. It was a short-lived relationship, but it was very memorable because of how often I was afraid of Andrew and deeply concerned about what he might do, not just to me, but to other people. He would often punch holes in the drywall of his home, and him and his friend Brandon would go into great detail about donning black trench coats like the Columbine killers, going into their old high school and shooting it up. They were very much of the belief that they were the intellectuals in their high school, and like all the footballers and the cheerleaders hated them, so F those people. They were very of that belief and kind of that, unfortunately, that stereotype. I think they acted with an air of superiority, but at the same time, they were incredibly self-deprecating, often calling themselves the FAGS slur.
Okay, great. I can kind of see where this person is going. I don't care.
It was a very
I don't care.
confusing
Not
dynamic.
the F slur. No, not the F slur. Like,
A very confusing relationship that the two of them had. It was definitely concerning. I also came to find out years later.
me and BWC are the intellectuals of the commentary community. We're the intellectual powerhouses of the commentary community, guys. We're not like the other. We're not like the Nick the Oreos and the Augie RFCs. We're the F slurs.
Later, that Andrew was regularly flirting and essentially cheating on me, exchanging photographs with other women. Which is really funny because the reason we broke up is because I commented on my very openly gay friends, I think Facebook picture like, ooh, you look hot today, double winky face. And that caused Andrew, I guess, to go into a rage. And so he had his best friend Brandon call me a slut and threatened to curb stomp me, to hurt me, and just repeating, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. You can never live with yourself again. You are so filthy. And just
damn, I can't believe Shannon dated Elliot Rogers. Holy shit. Yeah, it just sounds like she's talking about incels.
Hold of Andrew after that. So the next day, I drove to his work. Now, Shannon worked where Andrew worked. I had seen Shannon on several occasions, never spoke to her, just kind of would wave to her.
So I guess these people know each other IRL, which is a little bit weird. And look, here's the thing, right? This is what I was saying to someone else. I was like, this complicates things, like, a lot. Like, a lot. This complicates things a hell of a lot. What if Emily is Amy? Holy shit. Okay. That was just an idea that popped into my head. That would be fucking mental. Could you imagine if they're both accusing each other of stalking each other? Like, holy shit. That'd be insane. My microphone is peaking because I didn't turn the sensitivities down enough. But, yeah, this complicates things a lot. Like, it really does, because, like, when you take shit from, like, online to IRL, like, that really can, like, have quite significant complications, because, like, we don't fucking know what's gone on in their real life. We don't know what's gone on. Like, it's not like you like, have an altercation in real life, and then it gets, like, recorded or, like, screenshotted, right? Like, that doesn't normally happen, I feel like. Like, we don't, like, the general public, us, we don't have, like, an idea of what's going on here, apart from what they're presenting to us online. So the fact that these people know each other in real life, it's like if fuck, I don't know. No, I can't think of a good. It's like if John and Jack had a fucking big argument online, and then like something happened in real life that we had no idea about, and they're both telling like contradictory stories. Like there's like kind of no way to prove that unless there's a recording, and like if this stuff has happened, like she's saying like 6-7 years ago, 5 years ago, something stupid, then it's like probably wasn't recorded. Let's be honest. So fuck, man, that complicates this even more. Like this is no long like this is it wasn't a simple drama to begin with because there was no real answer. Like I think it was perfectly reasonable for you to think that Shannon was guilty last week, and I think it was perfectly reasonable for you to think she was innocent last week because it's just one of those nuanced topics. But like this complicates shit like so much more. Like holy fuck.
To see if I could speak to him after his shift. He did not come into work that day. I went home. I cried about it. I believe I sent him one last, like, what the fuck message. And then time went on. Everybody moved on. It was fine. Didn't reach out again. Andrew actually reached back out to me down the road, basically saying, hey, sorry for how things ended. We should be friends now. Then, of course, as all codependent relationships do, we entered into this kind of weird middle ground flirtationship. That became unhealthy, so I decided to kind of end it, kind of step back away from that. Then he expressed interest in having a professional relationship, having me sing on one of his tracks.
The stupid feeling that I know you know we know I can't see. You run away.
Close your eyes.
Blame yourself.
Count to 5.
Will I ever see?
I never seem to
Wonder why I
never wondered
if all I needed was a hug. See through the eyes of an
Pick
I
me
don't care.
hashtag anti-feminist phase. I 100% did. And I was about to say, I don't know why like that happened. I do know why that happened. I was not only in a very vulnerable place, I was using drugs. My brain was all sorts of just not functioning on a proper level. But besides Andrew, I had another domineering, powerful, abusive man in my life that was taking advantage of me in ways that I do not feel comfortable talking about publicly. So I had no control. I had no bodily autonomy. I had no control. That's just I had no control. I had nothing. So you know how I took control back? I learned this in therapy by being.
It's an unreasonable like assumption to make. Like Emily could be Amy, right? Like they're similar names, Emily, Amy, and she's calling like Andrew like Anthony or something, or the other way around in this thing, right? Like, could you fucking imagine if this is apparently Amy? Like that'd be insane. I mean, she says that she's been doing drugs since she has like mental illness or whatever. So like, I'm not saying that makes her guilty whatsoever of being Amy. There's nothing to substantiate that whatsoever. Like, there's nothing. The problem is, right? Like, oh fuck, this is such a difficult topic. It's such a no. Actually, I don't think she is Amy. I don't think she is. But I just thought that was a weird coincidence that they both sound kind of similar. Amy, Emily. As I said, like from what it comes off from like her content and the videos that I've looked at, she seems like a pretty normal person. But again, like crazy shit.
Being a fucking bitch. That's how I took it back. And I never got to anywhere near Shannon levels of conniving bitchery. It was very open out front, like lots of like hashtag anti-feminists and feminist, roll eye, like just the stereotypical pick-me girl. I was 100% that. I believe it through and through. Now, most of my ire was aimed towards celebrities. Like I wanted to get people riled up, like about their favorite celebrities. So I would shit on celebrities and say really fucked up things. Like I'd slut shame them. I was super fatphobic. I was not a good
she was based back in the
person.
day.
That's not a different person, by the way. I don't like when people say, well, I'm not that person. I was that person. That person evolved, that person reflected, and that person had to change, especially when I got sober. I really, really feel like my eyes started to open up as my brain repaired itself. He sent me the track. I hear the girl's voice. The girl's voice is Shannon's. And I say, man, that girl's voice is weak. It doesn't sound good on the track. My voice would sound so much better. Super catty, super bitchy, and super insecure, immature. There's a million words I could use for what I said about it. So I put Shannon down to raise myself up.
Lol.
And I believe
fucking savage.
in doing that, that is what set off this chain of events, the stalking, the harassment, the threats. So I made that comment. Andrew didn't really react to it too much. I think he just said, like, wow, you think you're so confident. Like, it was a slightly negative reaction, but he still had me come in and sing on the track. What was interesting is when I started working professionally with him is when I started noticing some like really negative comments across all my social media. And at this point, the Emily Artful channel wasn't a thing yet. I just had like random social media accounts. I think I had a Minecraft account, an anime. I did short films. I had like a separate art account that was unrelated, a music account. And I started noticing a lot of really negative comments. I didn't think much of it because that's just kind of, you know, the business on social media is you get negative comments. I figured it was normal. I was just seeing an increased volume in them. Something else I noticed kind of retroactively was that I was receiving a lot of Facebook friend requests from people that I didn't know, but I would have like a handful of mutual friends with. So I would, of course, accept these requests. And these were coming from Andrew and I believe Shannon, because this is Shannon for Shannon. Andrew is, you know, Andrew could be anyone. I have to say allegedly.
Right, so she believes that Shannon started stalking, or Shannon or Andrew started stalking her because of some mean comments made about singing. Okay.
For Shannon to protect myself legally, because even though there is, I feel like a lot of proof pointing in that direction. Obviously,
no, we don't do that
you
here.
could say at any point, you know, when did Shannon potentially partake in any of this? You know, who knows? So I want to make sure I put that little disclaimer in right here. Who knows? But I believe at this point, potentially, Shannon was working with Andrew to try to get up as much information about me as possible. Now, they ended up phishing me and locking me out of that original Facebook account. Now, I had that original Facebook account since I was a minor, since Facebook came out. And hidden in the messages of that account were some compromising photographs. Now, most of them were of me as an adult.
What? So first allegation, well, second allegation. So first allegation is Shannon or Andrew. She doesn't know. Someone was sending friend requests on Instagram, I think, or Facebook or something. Someone sending friend requests. Okay, that's the first allegation. Second allegation, she's someone has fished, or she's claiming that Andrew and Shannon have fished her out of her YouTube account. So, okay, interesting.
But unfortunately, there were a few of me as a minor, and I tried to express that to my stalker.
Okay, so they've gained access to the Facebook account, and in the messages they found what? Like inappropriate images of her as a minor, or just messages of her as a minor?
Photographs. The messages of that account were some compromising photographs.
Not necessarily inappropriate, but compromising. Might be the same
now,
thing,
most of them were of me as an adult, but unfortunately, there were a few of me as a minor. And I tried to express that in photographs from a website that I was on. At this point, I was doing some webcamming, not exactly something that I was doing of my own free will. A lot of that wasn't, but that's not Andrew and Shannon's fault. But they compiled a bunch of photographs, inappropriate photographs of me in this photo bucket account, and just taunted me with them, locked me out of my account, and then they emailed me.
Why are there no messages?
with the email that they had managed to switch out my email for on the Facebook account. And the email, if I remember correctly, was, why do I have to do this 22 at Gmail, or 44? It was a double number. And the email that they sent me was pretty much of that tone. Why do I have to do this?
Where are these messages? She's making all these allegations. Surely she has the receipts. Where are they? Is none of this edited? There's no receipts. What is this? There are some receipts. Okay.
I don't know, but I have to do this. Sorry. And then they blocked my email so I could not respond. And at the time, it was like impossible to get your Facebook account back. It was impossible because the like very stereotypical hackings had not happened yet. I have since still tried to recover that Facebook account, but I have had no luck. They went in and changed the phone number, the recovery phone number, the email. They changed everything. So I eventually actually became scared of trying to gain access to that account because I was afraid that I would irritate my stalker and they would, dangle those photographs, some of which,
That was me,
in which I was a minor, over my head. Again, I'm going to repeat, I have no idea if at this point Shannon was involved or not, but it was incredibly traumatic and upsetting. Again, I'm just trying to keep my brain devoid of emotion. That is pretty much how I've had to deal with
That was
this
me again.
situation, these events, the entire time that they've been happening. And this is going on over the course of several years. Something else that happened is a lot of body shaming. Andrew knew that I had struggled and continue to struggle to this day, even with an eating disorder. And I think he wanted to get a rise out of me, and he wanted to have me relapse, essentially. So a lot of body shaming. I have been overweight and I have been severely underweight. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. So I know the pain coming from both angles.
I've not ever done the overweight
so there was lots of body shaming my face. People are commenting that I guess Shannon had made a lot of transphobic comments. Let me just say right now, the number one insult, this is how I know it's her, across the board, because everybody is haters, but I know it's her when I'm called pre-op or TRANNY.
Do you know why I feel pained? Where are the receipts? What is wrong with these people? Every allegation that someone has made so far about this fucking shit has had no receipts whatsoever. The lolcow people didn't have any receipts. Shannon's response didn't have any receipts. I mean, I can't really shit on Ashley Lilly for not having receipts. But again, there weren't any receipts with some of the stuff that she said on Twitter. I know she doesn't want to release the messages, but the same fucking point applies, right? There's how many screenshots have I seen? I've seen one Facebook page so far in this video. That's all I've seen. That doesn't prove anything. That proves you had a Facebook page. That's why I'm in pain. It's like how I don't really want to take anyone's word for this shit, because I don't, after the John Swan stuff, I don't fucking trust anyone to tell the truth. That's why I'm in pain, because nobody seems to know how to fucking, the print screen key on the fucking keyboard. There's no one know how to use that. God.
Or when did you get your operation?
Morons.
And do you still have, boy parts down there? Just lots of incredibly transphobic insults. At this point in my life, I was not doing well. I was not in a good way.
This bitch as well. Sorry, it's not very nice. Shouldn't call people bitches. But they are bitches, to be fair. Anyone in the fucking art drama community is a bitch. She have any fucking... She had screenshots.
Taking out...
that I will go into after this.
Oh.
She's the only fucking person. And I did actually watch part of this already. That's why it started halfway through. I don't know what the fuck is, just learn how to use the print screen key.
In this one.
Learn how to, move a file
into a drug addiction that I was just floundering. My eating disorder was all over the place, and I was still in a very, very toxic, not romantic relationship, but a business relationship with someone where I had no bodily autonomy. So I was in a very, very horrible, bad way. And
that's me when I don't see any fucking screenshots in the
didn't
videos.
really have control of much. I tried to get a regular job, and Andrew, and potentially Shannon found out about this regular job and decided to email my job and send them a compromising video of myself. They posed as a client, said, I'm a regular client. You've lost my business because look at your, disgusting human being of a receptionist. Now, I am going to try and get in touch with this job to confirm that they did fire me because they received this email. Looks like they've had a change in business name, but I think that that will be a very important receipt. So I'm really going to try hard to get that. But yeah, when I finally had some sense of normalcy and I felt like I was able to be free and maybe potentially break free of this really toxic cycle that I was in, they got me fired from my fucking job. And I actually ended up homeless for a period of time. So anytime Shannon talks about being homeless and having to live in her car, she did that to me. Allegedly. Hi, future Emily here. So Shannon was never technically quote unquote homeless. I mean, she was without a home, but in the traditional sense, her and Anthony were homeless by choice. And I know that because listen to what Anthony says in this video he posted on his YouTube channel in August of last year.
So
This is fucking nuclear. Holy shit.
in this video, I wanted to go over what it was like to be homeless or kind of partially be homeless living out of a car for about 2.5, 3 years or so. And keep in mind, this was a conscious decision to do this. We didn't get evicted and thrown out on the street or something like that. We planned for this for about 6 months to about a year or so. And I also thought,
Okay, being homeless because you can't afford a place to live, if that's what's being said, or is it because they were going
and keep in
like,
mind, this was a
a few years ago, some friends and I moved into our cars to save money on rent. Okay. I thought it'd be interesting to share some info on how we managed.
conscious decision to do this. We didn't get evicted and thrown out on the street or something like that. We planned for this for about 6 months to about a year or so. And I also thought it would be kind of fun to go over the recording rig that I had kept while we were living out of the car and how I managed timing and working on headphones and a computer in the public library just during their operating hours. Around 2015 or so, a few friends and I decided that it was a good idea to try and save rent money by moving into our cars essentially. We weren't too happy living in California and the rent is atrociously high and it's just getting higher. Culture there is it's kind of pathetic. I mean, because what's weird about San Jose specifically and a lot of the southern parts of Silicon Valley, there's not really a dominant culture there, especially amongst millennials. It's a lot of, I've always described it as different.
When I say homeless, I'm referring to those who are unable to access or afford shelter at all. I'm not referring to people who are currently without a home. But she was homeless, so... Also, I don't hear a lot of homeless people saying they became homeless because they weren't a big fan of the culture.
Subsets of millennials LARPing and trying to turn Campbell and South San Jose into something that it's not. And more specifically, I would meet, I don't know, an actor or something like that who wants to pretend that it's LA, or I'd meet a pretentious goth girl who wants to act like it's San Francisco and is kind of pissed off that it's not really San Francisco.
We're really gonna have like a
these
semantic debate over the definition of fucking homeless. Like, holy
kind of characters that want to pretend that it's Alabama or something like that. And I'm like, well, you grew up like 5 blocks away from me. Like, it's not.
And to be fair, I don't know if Shannon has ever clarified that they were homeless by choice, but from what I'm reading, it seems like anytime she got called out, she would use her homelessness and the hardships she went through while being homeless as kind of like an excuse for her behavior. So I don't know if she ever clarified that it was by choice.
Is there
Basically,
one
hashtag
screenshot
vandalism.
here?
Anytime I
No!
have control of my life.
There's not a single screenshot! She's just gone or
Or something like that. I'm like, well, you grew up like 5 blocks away from me. Like, it's not.
And to be fair, I don't know if Shannon has ever clarified that they were homeless by choice, but from what I'm reading, it seems like anytime she got called out, she would use her homelessness.
From what I'm reading, every time she would get called out, she would use her
and the hardships
homelessness
she went through while being homeless as kind of like an excuse for her behavior. So I don't know if she ever
as an excuse for her behavior. So she's alleging this happened multiple times, and she hasn't bothered to put one fucking screenshot on the screen. This is something that I've said before. I'm very sure I've said this before. Is these people don't add any context to the conversation that we're trying to have, right? They just expect you to know all of it. I'm sorry, I don't know the ins and out of this drama, right? I'm sorry that I don't understand, like, every single nitty-bitty little gritty little, detail of this drama. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, if this is something that she's done multiple times, which is what this person is claiming that this is something that's happened more than once. She's claiming like it's happened whenever she's got into drama or whatever. It's like, you can provide at least one screenshot, right? Like, at least. Nah. Fucking laziness.
by choice. Basically, hashtag van life. Anytime I had control of my life in any way, they would try desperately to take it away from me. I have tried to turn my emotions off this whole time, but I can't hear. They wanted me destroyed. Any good thing that I could have, they wanted it destroyed. And anytime I saw that light, they would snuff out that light so fucking fast.
Fuck.
That
Okay.
was not even the worst of it. I'm going to compose myself and come back. So after this happened, I went into a really dark downward spiral. There was a lot that was very difficult for me that I had to overcome pretty much completely on my own.
Also, I think she's going to go on to explain. I hope she does, because she's made the allegation. But another allegation she's making here is that Andrew and Shannon made her homeless. That is something that she said on Twitter, so I hope she goes on to explain that.
But then once I did overcome it, I ended up meeting someone, moving in with them and getting a different job. And again, you know, Andrew and potentially maybe Shannon did everything they could to try to find out where I was working. For some reason, they knew it was at a restaurant, a specific type of restaurant. So they literally, like, copied exactly one of my friend's Facebook accounts, took the about information.
Okay, look, something like this, I don't expect her to have proof of. Like, I understand that. Okay, I'm not asking for receipts for everything, but for things that, like, could be easily fucking provided proof for, it's like, why not make the effort to just do that little fucking bit?
all of their pictures and made this
Jesus.
other Facebook account and acted like, "Ooh, my Facebook got deleted, Emily. Like, can you add me again?" And my dumbass was like, "Okay." And so, oh my god, I want to scream at myself. But I accepted the friend request, and then of course they
Also, she's fucking saying that she's like had old devices with all of this shit on. So it's like, I don't know.
post, "Hey, does anybody know of any really cool this specific type of cuisine restaurants in this specific location?" And at that point, I'm
How
like,
does she record all this information and not have any screenshots to like back it up? That's what's like blowing my brain right now. Like, this is a lot of information to recall from like years ago, several years ago, whatever. Holy shit.
"You are not my friend." And so I blocked them. I knew right away that they were trying to find out where I work. They wanted to try to bait me to be like, "Yeah, I work here," so that they could call and get me fired from another job. But I was like, "No, F you." Block them, let my other friend know, "Hey, you're being impersonated." And so I believe that account got taken down very quickly because he reported that account as an impersonation account. At this point, I was starting to do better. I was starting to experience sobriety. I was on a program. Things were looking up. And I started the Emily Artful channel. And I decided going forward, I'd done a lot of therapy and healing. I was not so much of a hashtag pick me anymore. I was learning a lot about myself and my flaws and what I needed to do better. And I put a lot of that love and energy and time into the Emily Artful channel. I still put my heart and that same kind of love into the Emily Artful channel. I know it's been inconsistent lately. I've been dealing with so much after my last baby was born, just so much. And this channel, I know some people, it's like it's a business, and I do see it as a business, but at the core, this channel saved me. This channel kept me back on track. You guys, this little community that we've built, I really feel like this channel saved me. It continues to save me.
Yeah, I was just looking for that anonymity. I was actually just looking for through her old videos to see if that is what she had said. What have you just sent me? You sent me a Creator Studio link. Work. Oh my god, are you being serious, Ryan? Just fast forwarded to see some of the receipts. One of her receipts was she attributes... Okay, so this... Okay. One of her receipts she attributes to Shannon because this is the way she talks. This is what I was fucking saying. I said this beginning, I was like, yeah, I don't think she's gonna have concrete evidence. It's gonna be, like, really circumstantial evidence that it's Shannon. And she's like, fuck me, holy shit.
I made a video about how I used to have a series on my channel where I talked.
She talks about homelessness in 3 videos that are still up. Might be more that she's talked about it in. Anonymity, if you want to send that link again, it was sending me to YouTube Creator Studio. Very strange link. But she has talked about homelessness before. I wouldn't even put it past someone like Shannon, who's like an emotional person, to like use her homelessness as a defense. But my point is really more that like this video is just lazy if they can't even bother to bring up one example if it's being said that she's done this multiple times.
Sorry for this happy moment.
Like, she has a whole lolcow about her. Like, surely it would be in there, right?
This is difficult. So that's when I noticed the comments started appearing again, and at that point I was fully aware that I had a stalker, that someone was harassing me, and at that point it was terrifying because I had no idea who it was, because there had been a handful of toxic people in my life. When you do drugs and your mind is not functioning in the way that it needs to be, and also when your brain is in recovery as well, unfortunately you tend to gravitate towards those codependent relationships, and I was certainly one of those people. I started my series Sketchbook Storytime because I noticed there was kind of like a gap in the market. There were Storytime channels and there were art channels, and obviously there were millions of gaming channels at the time, but I'd not seen thus far anyone marry art and story times. Do I think I'm like the absolute 100% first person who's ever done this ever? No. But I did try pretty hard to find other people doing sketchbook story times, but I couldn't find that. So I came up with this term.
All right.
Homeless. Do you know how many people I lied to and did not tell I was homeless to while I was homeless because I didn't want their pity and I didn't want like any of that, because it's so utterly dehumanizing to have people look at you once you say I'm homeless, because all you see is intense pity and like you failed as a person. I was told in the comments things like I wasn't really homeless, that I was lying, that I was making it sound worse than it was, and that I had it so much easier than so many other people, and therefore I shouldn't be able to talk about it at all. That because I had my car, because I had my husband, because we had chosen to be homeless because we genuinely couldn't afford an apartment with the debt we had at the time, that I was not technically really homeless, that it wasn't as valid as people who had been displaced, and I was just using it to seem cool online. Which,
oh my god. So yeah, that's like a almost direct response right there. Holy shit. She's saying that it wasn't just to save money, but they had like crippling debt or something, right? So it wasn't just that they were saving money, they were saving money because they couldn't afford to live where they were living, right? So instead they decided to live in a car. Now, that's like 2 extremely different ways of portraying this idea that they've gone and decided to live in their home. That's like saying, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here, That's like saying... I don't know if this is similar. Okay, I would argue... I haven't thought this through very well, but I would argue that that is similar to saying those who do sex work because they can't afford to live any other way... It's not a good argument, but like regardless, those who do sex work out of a requirement for the money, not because they want to do it, they're not really like being exploited, right? Because they're making a decision to do sex work, right? It's not that they don't want to, it's not that they want, it's not that they're choosing to do it because they want the money, it's that they need to do it because, or the other way around. It's not that they need to do it because they need the money. It's they're choosing to do it because they want the money, right? Like, that's two drastically different ways of portraying being homeless or, like, going homeless. Like, Jesus. But yeah, very interesting. Can somebody give me a quick explanation? Very, very quick explanation, sure, for those who haven't seen any of this stuff. Basically, Shannon was outed by the lolcow admins who have made allegations that Shannon was posting very horrible things about her friends and herself, as well as posting her own videos in Patreon to lolcow. The reason why they think this is because they have tracked her IP and her devices and a load of information, allegedly, or so that they're claiming, that links back to her, and they're all consistent with her location and stuff like this. And as a result, this has caused a big drama shitfest. We're like moving through here now, this video. Essentially, this person, Emily, is making allegations that Shannon and Emily's ex-boyfriend, who she believes Shannon is still with, who she's calling Andrew, I believe, or is called Andrew, I can't quite recall. But basically, right, that they've both conspired to harass her over a number of years, including, so far, she's made allegations that Andrew, I believe, she said that he raped her, that, that's what she said at the beginning, I think, I'm like very sure that that's what she said. She also claimed that they phished her Facebook account and that they stole it from her, which in the messages of the Facebook account, they were compromising, as she said it, images of her. Now, whether she means inappropriate or child porn, I don't know. That would be a very serious allegation to make, actually, if they had access to child porn. Wow. That's what she's claiming so far. She's also made the allegation that they made her homeless, which is very interesting. And now she's going on to say that Shannon wasn't homeless by force, but Shannon was homeless because they decided that they were going to make themselves homeless to save money. Shannon has said in previous videos that she didn't do it to save money, it was that they were in crippling debt, and as a result, they decided that going homeless was the only way that they were going to get out of debt and then make a proper life for themselves.
And I created the series where I talked about different incidents in my life. And then I started getting these comments, people saying like, do you know CreepShowArt? And CreepShowArt is copying you. And have you seen this CreepShowArt girl? I was getting comments that were like, interesting. They were like, ugh, you're just a ripoff of CreepShowArt. And then opposite comments that were like, love you, Emily. CreepShowArt is a ripoff of you. Like, what was interesting is I was getting a lot of these comments about this one YouTuber and nobody else. Even though I've done like challenges and trends, and I didn't feel, I feel like art YouTubers, we all kind of like borrow ideas from each other. So it's like I was never compared to anyone else but CreepShowArt. Now, I thought it was kind of weird, but I was also new to the environment, so I figured it was probably like it came with the territory, essentially. So I didn't think anything of it until I got a comment of someone saying, hey, CreepShowArt has stolen a few of your thumbnails as well as your sketchbook storytime name. Like, she has completely ripped off your series. And so then my ears pricked up a little bit, and I did notice some of the thumbnails
This
were
should be easy to prove, right? If this has happened.
slightly similar.
Easy. This is all online stuff. This should. I'm expecting screenshots any second now. They're coming.
Using my sketchbook storytime like name for her series. And I was like, but I watched a couple of her videos, and honestly, like I liked the videos. I thought she was personable and enjoyable. Now at that point, I had been doing YouTube maybe for two.
I'm not even saying that she's lying. She could very well be telling the truth. It's just fucking laziness.
2 or 3 years, I want to say. So I'd been around for quite some time before her. before her. But I wasn't like this much larger channel. I was still quite a small channel. So when I approached her and I sent her a private message, I was perfectly polite. I didn't want to feel like I was like coming in here and trying to intimidate her to get her to change her series name. Hi Shannon, my name is Emily, and I have a channel on YouTube called Emily Artful. It's been brought to my attention that you have a series with the exact same name as a series I created 3 years ago called Sketchbook Storytime. I'm going to guess this was most likely 100% by accident or by coincidence, but I put my heart and soul into my series, and I'd really, really appreciate if you were able to change the name of your storytime videos. You are completely within your your right not to, as it's your channel and you can do with it as you please. But from one artist to another, I hope you understand how it can hurt my business. I love your art, and it's obvious you're very talented. You've got an incredibly unique style. I've never seen anything like it. I hope you understand my request, and I hope you don't think I'm angry. Things like this happen all the time. I figure it's just a coincidence. Thank you, Emily. And Shannon responded, sorry man, I watched Lehman Raptor on YouTube and she has a series titled the same name and she gave me a go-ahead. I'll just label them as story time since that's all it is, but I appreciate you letting me know your concern. Looking into it, there are quite a few accounts using the same name for similar series. Kind of like Get Ready For Me for beauty YouTubers almost. I think at the very least you might have started a trend, which is commendable. Sorry I made you uncomfortable in any way, my dude. By the way, I tried to find, at that time, other people calling their thing Sketchbook Storytime, and I actually couldn't find that. And maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough, or maybe Lehman Raptor, who she mentioned, like had changed the name. I don't know if she got wind of it, or I don't even know, but I couldn't find anyone else calling their like Storytime Sketchbook Storytimes. And now there's tons of people calling them Sketchbook Storytimes because, as I say here in a minute on the receipt, it's a pretty generic name. Like now I would never in a million years. But at the time, I was still kind of green. I was getting to know the layout of the land. And again, it's like a generic name. So whatever. I'm totally actually, if anything, supportive now of people using Sketchbook Storytime because that is what it is. But regardless, I was very polite and friendly. So I wasn't bullying anyone. I wasn't trying to be intimidating. And she responded in kind. And then I said, thank you so much. And no, it didn't make me uncomfortable one bit. I was pretty sure it was just a coincidence. I'm so glad I'm so glad I was able to start a trend within the community. I just want to protect certain properties that I've started. The act of storytelling itself is wonderful. And I hope more and more people keep sharing. Maybe I shouldn't have picked such a generic name. And again, I repeat, now I totally get, like, please, everyone use Sketchbook Storytime. Do not feel the need to ask me. But I was very green at the time, you know, fresh off of those DeviantArt presses. Like, that's what I remembered is protect your OCs, protect your properties, you know, to protect your intellectual properties. I'd already had something stolen of mine at one point. So after that was settled, I received a DM with a screenshot of my YouTube homepage, including my icon. And in my icon, there's me, Emily, with long black hair. And I was wearing a winter scarf around my neck. But since it was also black, everything kind of blended together. And this sock puppet account said, your new icon looks like you're wearing a hijab. Just so you know. I know you're not Muslim, so I want to make sure no one got offended. And I was like, yeah, you know, it might be wise for me to change that. Then later on, the sock puppet account messages me again and says, I just found another channel that is copying you. Have you heard of CreepShowArt? And I say, yeah, people have been messaging me a lot lately and saying she's copying me. I just think she's got a very similar personality type to me. We had a discussion about her calling her new series Sketchbook Storytime, and she very kindly said she'd change it. Otherwise, I don't really have much of an issue with what she does, as long as it's not a close to exact ripoff of my content. And the sock puppet account continues to kind of push and egg on. I think it's super similar. I'm gonna be
honest, I just don't fucking care. When you're making a rape allegation in the same video as this, I tend not to, like, kind of care.
Seen any of them? Just really trying to get a reaction out of me there. And I say, I have. I agree. They are very similar. But again, I'm not worried about it. As long as she doesn't directly copy anything from me, it should be fine. And then the sock puppet says, you have a really good attitude about it. Smiley, I'm glad you aren't angry. And I know that right there, allegedly, that was Shannon allegedly being upset that I did not have a reaction or said something crappy behind her back because, you know, I'm not her. And see, after our previous conversation, when I actually talked to the quote-unquote real Shannon, I had added her on Instagram as like a sign of goodwill. So me following Shannon on Instagram is a really important piece of information I'm going to ask you to put a pin in because I accidentally skipped over something. So let's rewind a year. At that point, I was completely unaware of like what Andrew was doing, who he was dating, let alone that he was dating Shannon. And one of my videos had all of a sudden gotten like this huge influx of views, like 200,000 or something. And again, I was still a relatively small channel. I was green. I was so excited. So I posted, my video just went a little viral, or my video went viral. I think it's the first thing that I posted. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, no, it's more like mini viral. So I came in and made like a second tweet saying it went mini viral. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, Andrew started following me and then responded to me and one of my viewers congratulating me. And he said, buying 100,000 views for a few $100s is.
Sorry, I just really wanted to bring this up because it's funny as fuck. She mentioned that someone asked her to take down her profile picture because she looked like she was wearing a hijab. I didn't even fucking make that. My fucking sister made that. Holy shit. Hello Hitler draws in the chat. Holy shit. Oh god. My sister made that. She thought it was fucking hilarious. If you don't know, this woman here is my nan. She's been photoshopped onto a picture of Shamima Begum. The girl that went out to fight. She lived in the UK, but she went out to fight with ISIS in like 2017 or something. God, it's really funny. Just thought it was funny. It reminded me of it.
FYI. And then I'm not sure. I blocked Andrew somewhere. And so he was able to make another tweet at me, replying just to me this time. He says, also, why do you keep blocking me? Hey, everyone, she's a blocker and a meanie. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Because I guess he thought that was funny. And then all of a sudden, moments later, I get a DM on Twitter from an account literally named notviral_Emily. And in this DM, it has my Social Blade stats, basically circling and insinuating that I had paid for these views. Because I guess at this point, Andrew had no idea how the YouTube algorithm works.
Is this
on
like
Twitter
the first, this is the first thing that we've seen. Buying 100k views for a few $100s isn't viral. Just FYI. Also, why do you keep blocking me? Hey everyone, she's a blocker. Stop nagging. We need to stop nagging. No one likes a nagger. And a meanie. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Interesting. Anthony since deleted his Twitter, so I was unable to find it. The person using Spassionaut is a real person and is not Anthony. Very weird. That's a very unique username, I feel like. Maybe it's a reference to something, I'm not sure, but that does feel like a very unique name. This is like the first big thing that we've seen, right? So this is circumstantial proof. I will say it's pretty good proof, but it's circumstantial proof that she has a she has like a vindictive or like stalkerish ex-boyfriend, right? Like if I break up with someone, I'm not gonna fucking go to their YouTube channel and be like, or go to their Twitter and be like, oh, you have 5 views. Like I'm not fucking doing that. That's
literally
good.
name
Fair enough.
not viral underscore
That's
Emily. And in this DM, it has my social blade stats, basically circling and insinuating that I had paid for these views because I guess at this point Andrew had no idea how the YouTube algorithm works, and sometimes a video is just heavily promoted. This just dawned on me. Wouldn't it be crazy if they spent money to buy views for my channel so they could accuse me of spending money to buy views for my channel? Let me be clear right now, by the way. I have never bought views, bought subscribers, bought any form of promotion. I've never bought an ad for myself. I don't do that. I'm adamant about that. So pretty irritating having someone come in and accuse me of that. And so then this not viral Emily, aka Asia, says, so you paid for these. That much is obvious. And I say, no, I actually didn't. If you look my video, You Are Not an Artist, around that same time, you'll see it got really big. All the subs were most likely gained from that video. I have a child now. I gotta spend my cash on diapers and formula, dude. It's a waste of money to buy subs. Not viral Emily responds, sure. What you just said further implies buying subs, you see. The idea behind just buying views/subs for one video would be smart if it wasn't so horribly shown. So you're telling me none of those viewers browse your other videos? Because looking at them, they didn't. Nice try though. Better luck
What
next
is
time. Also,
this?
200,000 isn't viral. It's silly no one else is called the on it, because damn, it is so
Okay,
obvious.
this is like clear evidence that she has a stalker. This is not clear evidence that this is Anthony, I believe, but I can see where the connection's being made. I can very much see where the connection is made, and
Yes. Hey guys, future Emily.
I'd probably believe it.
Here again. So while I was recording, I noticed something really interesting. So for the screenshot that I took of my Social Blade stats back at the time, this sock puppet account was accusing me of buying subs and views. You can notice the spike in subs and views starts at the end of September and goes into the first week of October until about the 7th, and then it goes down from there. Unfortunately, I only took that one screenshot, but if I look at my analytics, it looks like somewhere in there is where I got that spike in views and subscribers. Now, if we go over to the screenshots I took of Anthony's messages as well as the sock puppet account's messages, you'll see I took those screenshots on October 23rd, 2017, and that was the last time that these screenshots were at all messed with. Now, just because I remember to take screenshots on that day doesn't mean that is when I received those messages. But if we look at this screenshot right here, you can see that the sock puppet account sent me their original message on Saturday at 10:58 a.m. Now, for something like that, I probably would have responded right away, so I didn't see it until 8:59 p.m., but it was still on the Saturday. Now, October 23rd in 2017 fell on a Monday, so I can only assume that the messages sent by the sock puppet and Anthony came then the Saturday before the 23rd, which was the 21st. Can I just say that I'm super glad most social media now includes the date next to the timestamp? Because remember, after Anthony was tweeting at me accusing me of buying subscribers, only moments later did a sock puppet account accuse me of the same thing. Nobody else did, just Anthony and the sock puppet account. And you can see that I was reacting to both of them at very similar times because, like I said, I responded to that sock puppet account at 8:59 p.m. and then privately messaged Anthony at
Yeah, I think there's strong evidence to say now that she definitely has. She has.
9:30 p.m. on that same day. I just find it oddly suspicious that Anthony just decides out of the blue to go looking for me a week and a half within the first time one of my videos quote unquote blow up, because now I'm second guessing everything. As you can see, there is a pattern of behavior. Anytime I experience even a modicum of success, he just has to destroy it. He has to attempt to crush my motivation. That seems like their main goal is to absolutely crush my motivation and get me to stop doing the things that I like and that I love. Any good thing that happens to me, they have to find out, they hack my email,
Probably like a monologue that you put at the end of the video once you've displayed all of the
on my Facebook, find out what's good in my life and try to ruin it. Relationships, YouTube, anything. My income, they just don't want me to succeed. And this seems to be a pattern. Just by the way, all the lolcow posts, I was reading through them. This is a pattern. But anyway, so I decided to unblock Andrew and confront him. Now, I do not have what I said to him, but I essentially said something like, why are you harassing me? Why are you doing this to me? We loved each other once. Can we not respect that? Can we just respect each other and go our separate ways? I just want to be left alone, essentially. And I know that sounds way too light and airy and soft, but I'm afraid of him. I was, and I am still afraid of him. He talked about in detail shooting up his school, who he would shoot. If I could go back and shoot up these people. He is the kind of person to just snap, get in the car, drive cross country, and kill me.
Me when school shooting threat allegations, I guess. Holy fuck. Oh, I mean, I've made jokes like that before, like to some extent. Maybe he was like making a joke, I don't know.
I literally have a written up statement saying if anything mysterious happens to me, this is who you should be worried about. This is who your suspect should be. That may sound totally paranoid to some of you, and trust me, I get paranoid with some of these receipts, but he was a scary guy to be with. I felt trapped in a lot of instances, especially since
That's a bit fucking weird.
I was vulnerable. And even here, when I'm starting to get sober, I'm vulnerable.
Don't
My
clip
mind
that
is
reaction.
recovering.
Don't clip
Okay?
that
I was
reaction.
still in a
Don't do
vulnerable
it.
position, so I was still very frightened. He says back, harassing? No, I've only posted in what my accounts are, like what has my face on it. And I'm not angry. I was just curious. I figured maybe if I get more ridiculous, I'd get a response. I wanted to see where your stuff went, which is why I was bummed you blocked me. But no, I'm not angry at all. Thank you for the reason, though. Much appreciated. Good luck out there. If I get more ridiculous, I get a response. That's just pure entitlement right there, and it terrified me. It said that if I don't pay attention to this man in some way, shape, or form, give him sympathy, I don't even know what he wants, a reaction, anything, he will up the ante. And that's terrifying. Fast forward a year again. I had followed CreepShowArt on Instagram.
Wait, what?
Scrolling through
Sorry.
it's appreciated.
What?
Good luck.
He denies the allegation. Harassing, no. I've only posted in what my accounts are. Like, what has my face on it. Like, it's clearly a dribbler. And I'm not angry, I was just curious. I figured maybe if I get more ridiculous, I'd get a response. I wanted to see where your stuff went, which is why I was bummed you blocked me. But no, I'm not angry at all. Thank you for the reason. So much appreciated. Good luck out. Oh my god. If you know anything, shit. If you know anything the way Shannon types, you'll be able to hear her all up in this post. I've read more of her posts since I recorded the initial audio, so it is now obvious to me that this was most likely Shannon responding, compared to the original tweets Anthony sent, which were very much forward in nature. Shannon is the queen of deflection and manipulation, and there are so many more receipts that further prove the point. Holy shit, guys. It's the Dream argument. Now, Dream was right about John Swan. Oh, hello? What's happening here? Oh, fuck. Having a moment. Now, Dream was right about John Swan, when he got the language analysis out, and he was like, wow, John uses this language in my DMs, and that account used language as well, so it might have been John. Yeah. I don't know how Shannon talks. I have some DMs with her. Obviously, I'm not gonna fucking show them because I have a brain damage. My BWC's best streaming. But BWC is telling... Maybe I won't say that. Can I say that? Can I... He says he's going to bed. Okay. Let me get my DMs. Because when Dream dropped the fucking analytical language, I searched through some words in my DMs with John, and some of the words that he brought up, John does use. I don't know. I don't have big, long back and forths with CreepShowArt. We were never really friends. It was only like acquaintances, right? So harassing? No. I've only posted in what my accounts are, like what has my face on it. I could hear her saying that, I'll be honest, but like again, this is flimsy. Like this is not evidence that CreepShowArt is involved in stalking whatsoever. Like this is not fucking
If I get more ridiculous, I'd get a response. That's just pure entitlement right there, and it terrified me. It said that if I don't pay attention to this man in some way, shape, or form,
she's contradicting herself. So she's saying that this is Shannon, but then she's also saying it's a man.
At all. Thank you for the reason, though. Much appreciated. Good luck out there. If I get more ridiculous, I get a response. That's just pure entitlement right there, and it terrified me. It said that if I don't pay attention to this man in some way, shape, or form, give him sympathy, I don't even know what he wants, a reaction, anything, he will up the ante. And that's terrifying. Fast forward a year again, I had followed CreepShowArt on Instagram. Scrolling through Instagram one day, and I noticed a drawing that resembles Andrew, because Andrew had a very specific look to him, and I was like, oh, who drew this? What a coinky-dink. CreepShowArt. I read the caption, and it says something about working with, and she tags Andrew, and my fucking heart falls out my ass. What's interesting, though, is at that point, I didn't accuse Shannon right away. I was actually, if anything, I was CreepShowArt that resembles Andrew. Andrew had a very specific look to him, and I was like, oh, who drew this? What a coinky-dink. CreepShowArt. I read the caption, and it says something about working with, and she tags Andrew, and my fucking heart falls out my ass. What's interesting, though, is at that point, I didn't accuse Shannon right away. I was actually, if anything, I was concerned about Shannon, and I mentioned that in later receipts. I was worried because I know how Andrew can be, and he had just put me through so much.
2 times speed?
When we were, Andrew and I were kind of still in a flirtatious place.
It's actually too slow. It's too slow. I need like 4 times speed. How do I get that? There must be an extension,
at one point, he had come over. I was at my dad's house. I had been using... he crawled through my window. I've discussed this before. That is how I got people in and out of my room secretly. He climbed in through my window, and he had sex with me while I was incredibly and obviously intoxicated by way of heroin. I was nodding off. I was incoherent, and I only, whether it be from being on drugs or it being a trauma, I only remember bits and pieces of it. I don't know if he was with Shannon at that point. I do think she is aware of the encounter, as I have received, again, YouTube comments. I believe it was just one comment basically saying that I forced...
I know I glazed over this very quickly. Talking about it, let alone even thinking about it, is still very difficult. This is obviously understandable. And I'm still working through that trauma personally. I have no idea if he was in a relationship with Shannon at the time the assault occurred, but it seemed like a possibility. Does she even know if they were dating? I've been told that Andrew is not Shannon's husband, if Andrew and her were ever dating. Just so people were... Shannon's husband is not Andrew. Probably something that, you know, Emily here wants to fucking clear up before she makes a video.
Another girl's boyfriend to cheat on her. So that was kind of a very specific rumor. And again, like, these things just never caught track.
Let me just make a rape allegation, but I'm not going to make the rape allegation and specify exactly what relation to Shannon this person is. So it's not my fault if people turn around and say Shannon's husband raped fucking Emily. Like,
traction most of the time. And I'm sorry, I don't have receipts for a lot of these YouTube comments. I don't remember what video they're on.
I don't know the receipts at the time of this video, and yes, I don't have the receipts for the rape. What?
The encounter, as I have received, again, YouTube comments.
I don't expect her to have receipts of her being raped. Obviously, I don't expect that.
I believe it was just one comment, basically saying that I forced another girl's boyfriend to cheat on her.
Okay, okay, so someone has made an allegation that she forced another.
So that was kind of a very specific rumor. And again, like, these things just never caught traction most of the time. And I'm sorry, I don't have receipts for a lot of these YouTube comments. I don't remember what video they're on. Most of my videos have hundreds of comments, so I don't really know.
Oh, great. Here we go. I'm certain I deleted some of them because friends and family were telling me to delete and block for my safety or peace of mind. How convenient that you've deleted some things and not others. But I know there are still tons of sock puppet creepshow comments under my videos, new and old. Could just screenshot some of them, but okay. It will take some time, but I'm sure when I have more time to search, I'll be able to find plenty. During the editing of this video alone, I stumbled upon a lot more receipts and had to add in so much stuff. Buckle up. This rabbit hole goes down.
Exactly how to rifle through all of them. Also, before I spoke to a lawyer and then eventually police, I was not screenshotting anything. I was afraid, so I was mostly just going through, deleting, and blocking, just trying to get this person to leave me alone. Because everyone...
Comments time. I mean, yeah, he could be joking, but, like, did she bring up that to the cops? Because unironically, if a grown woman is seriously talking about a grown man is serious about shooting up who he used to know at his high school, it's probably not normal. Yeah, a bit weird. Did she say yup? I'm sure she did. It's literally so easy to copy someone's typing patterns. I can get it when you give hints about it being sock accounts, but not like it's really evidence and shouldn't be presented as such. I get why she is saying that, but she is insinuating Shannon. Hello, Shelley, how are you doing? But is she insinuating Shannon knew of this abusive behavior, the abusive and unconsensual? Yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Shannon would stay with someone who's this abusive. Just my take on it. I don't. She does come off as like, in the conversations I've had with Shannon, she comes off as a very nice person, but if she's batshit insane, she's batshit insane, right? Like, holy shit.
Advice was just disengage, block, delete, and block. Just get them as far away from you as humanly possible. And it wasn't until I had a consultation with a lawyer that they were like, no, don't do that. Screenshot. Keep track of everything. And I believe that was in 2017 that I really started keeping track of these receipts. So unfortunately, yes, some of this is hearsay, but I also have a shit ton of proof that Andrew and Shannon are behind this. Speaking of which, let's move on to Snapchat. One day I just received a completely random Snapchat photograph of what looked like a specific square in the city that I lived in with some nonsensical text overlaid on top. I don't have the initial Snapchat because I just kind of froze in panic, but I do have the response to that Snapchat. I wrote, "Are you in my city?" And Kilgore Trout is the name that they chose this time. And they said, "Somewhere, I suppose, in its labyrinth." And then you could see I started typing back, "You are fucking insane." Now, I'm sorry for the ableist language I was using here. I was just...
Kilgore Trout? It's a fictional character created by author Kurt Vonnegut. Trout was inspired by the name of the author Theodore Sturgeon, Vonnegut's colleague in the genre of science fiction. Vonnegut was amused by the notion of a person with the name of a fish, sturgeon, hence Trout. Although Trout's consistent presence in Vonnegut's work has also led critics to view him as the author. Although Trout's consistent presence in Vonnegut's work has also led critics to view him as the author's own alter ego. That's very weird, right? This person has decided to name themselves Kilgore Trout, and Kilgore Trout is a character written by this guy called Vonnegut, and critics of Vonnegut have claimed that Vonnegut wrote about this person to kind of about his own feelings, right? That's a very strange name. Huh. That's very strange when we consider, like, this entire drama is about people writing about themselves, right? That's weird, right? This entire drama is about people who are writing about themselves on lolcow, or they've got, like, stalkers that are, like, actually them, right? Like, that's very strange. Trout was notably unsuccessful author of the paperback science fiction novels. In a homage to Vonnegut, Kilgore Trout was also the titular author of the novel, written pseudonymously by Philip Jose Farmer. Weird. I don't know anything about this, but I just thought that'd be interesting if that was like a reference to something, which I think it probably is.
I was so freaked out. You guys have no idea the level of fear that I had in this moment. I was 100% convinced that this person, Andrew or Shannon or whoever, was in my city and they were going to hurt me. You can see I said, answer me. You drove all the way here? And they said, I don't have a driver's license yet. My parents drove me here. And here is where I believe that they're starting to set up breadcrumbs that the person who is stalking me is a minor, which I find just, I mean, this is what's disturbing. Shannon said, I don't have a driver's license yet. My parents drove me here. And here is where I believe that they're starting to set up breadcrumbs. And Andrew or Shannon or whoever was in my city and they were going to hurt me. You can see I said, answer me. You drove all the way here? And they said, I don't have a driver's license yet. My parents drove me here. And here is where I believe that they're starting to set up breadcrumbs that the person who is stalking me is a minor, which I find just, I mean, this is what's disturbing. Shannon and Andrew both, and specifically Shannon, really, I mean, really, the manipulation, the intense orchestration of all of this, the sock puppet accounts, this is disturbing to me because they covered their tracks as far back as, I think this was 2017. This is how long, how deeply disturbed these individuals are. So I say, why? And then they say, I have prolonged fits of daydreaming at times. Just this really, and I know it may not seem scary to some people, but to me, this is so messed up. I 100% believe that this person was in my city looking for me so that they could kill me. Like I had mentioned before, Andrew and his friend Brandon discussed at length about going into their old high school and shooting it up. They also completely idolized Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. They just thought he was like the most chaotic evil, the most amazing, cool villain ever.
Sounds like me!
Donning a mask.
I like Heath Ledger's Joker.
Kidnapping the people who made fun of him in high school and torturing them. This is what was coming to the forefront of my mind when I was receiving the...
Oh, come on, we've all thought about that. Come on. We've all thought about that. We all thought, what would I do if I could get my hands on those people?
Snapchats. I'm going to include some of the photograph Snapchats now. I don't know if they're in the right order because there was a lot of just nonsensical talk.
I do like
have their original file name, so I'm not exactly sure, but I think I have them in the right order because eventually he stopped talking to me through the Snapchat chat and just through the images. And you can see how I'm so afraid of him. I start to do that tend and befriend thing. I try to approach him with a softness, just trying to get to that part of him, that little piece of him that is human. And I know some people are going to use this to doubt my validity and be like, well, if you're really scared, why were you being so nice to him? Again, I was trying so hard to tap into that human emotion so he wouldn't come to my fucking house. I was terrified. I'm sorry, but you would never know what you would do in that situation until you're actually in it. So I just want to say that. I'm looking here. I'm a little confused because I have two screenshots. The one where I say, are you in my city? And then he says somewhere, I suppose, and it's Labyrinth. But I also have a screenshot from the exact same day that I say, are you in my city? And then I say, that's no proof that you're here, assuming I'm responding to a Snapchat photograph. And then I say, it breaks my heart that you do this, that you want to hurt me. I wish you'd put that energy into your music. You have so much potential and you're wasting it all on this obsession with me. I don't know. Maybe I asked, are you in my city? I'm not 100% sure, but here are those two screenshots. At this point, I did know that Shannon and Andrew were in a relationship, but I was still kind of under the impression that Andrew was just doing this on his own and that Shannon had no idea. Now, the reason I didn't go and tell Shannon was because I, again, am terrified of this person. I didn't want to rock the boat. I literally just wanted them to leave me the fuck alone. Now, I don't have a screenshot of this, but I did send a message to him saying, do not come to my home. I have a security animal, which is 100% true. Osa is not only an emotional support dog, she is also a trained security dog. I also let him know that I have a gun in the home that I have access to and that I know how to use, and that if he tried to hurt me, that I would be forced to have to defend myself. And at this point, I have the gun. Like, I had the gun out and ready. I was fully prepared for him to come to this house and to hurt me. At this point, I was not only thinking about him fantasizing about shooting up his high school, about tormenting his ex-classmates. I was not only thinking about how he was perfectly comfortable having sex with me while I was half unconscious. I was not only thinking about the emotional abuse.
Was he, like, half unconscious as well? This is the problem, right? Like, I don't want to get into, like, a really long fucking debate or discussion about what is or isn't considered rape. Because unlike this person, I'm not fucking delving into semantics. Having said that, if they're both on drugs, which I don't know, because she hasn't provided a lot of context, and, like, neither of them can consent, right? Like, why is the onus on him? Like, oh, this is the issue. Like, there's no fucking context. I don't really want to touch this aspect of the story, but I will say, like, I don't know whether this guy's doing drugs or not. I'm probably just not going to touch it.
He put me through in our relationship, how afraid he made me. But I was also thinking of...
yeah, I know she thinks it seems as though Emily's insinuating that that's the case, which I intentional, the plot thickens. Okay, but unironically for a second, she did take this to the cops. If she thought she was in danger, that the guy who abused her might be after her, that he wanted to shoot up a school, why no cops called? I do not.
About the pure dedication over, at this point, what would have been
This is a
7 or 8
fair
years
point.
of him obsessively, constantly making sock puppet accounts, harassing me, belittling me, shaming me, trying to trigger my eating disorder. This man was the definition of obsessed. After I told him, do not come to my house, I have a security dog and a weapon in my home, he said, the valiant taste of death, but once. Cowards fear it many times. In the very first Snapchat that he sent me that I was not able to capture, there was the business loft in it, and we have a loft here in our city in a very specific town square. So I was under the impression that he was in this town square because the architecture was very similar. This is why
A loft? Like a attic? Is that a loft? Is that what she said?
I was under the impression that he was in our city. So for some reason, I just don't have a screenshot of me asking this, but I said, are you near the loft in our city or your city? To which he responds,
The fuck's a loft? Loft. American. Talking about like an attic, right? Is he in the loft? Like all three of those things are incredibly alarming behavior, and together could definitely warrant an arrest to an investigation. Even just the school threats and the pigs being sent. Yeah, for sure. If he's in the same city. What's she saying? He's in the loft. He's in her attic. Loft. Is there a different spelling of loft? Someone help me here. This must be an American thing.
with this, there is,
Or is
alas,
it
only
a-
one
an
loft,
insane
infinite copies of
person
voids
thing?
upon
I don't
voids,
know.
reflected, as it were, into the greater void of perception, that which is named but not known, in which loft is one of any
Oh, here we go. There is, alas, only one loft, infinite copies of the voids upon voids, reflected, as it were. Okay, clearly this person is fucking insane. Like, holy shit.
possible combination of voids.
They like think they're like the real life villain in like a Nolan film or some shit.
Infinite yet distinct. So at this point, my emotions were very mixed. I'm like, is he trying to be funny or is he trying to be poetically terrifying? He then sends me this. All art is to be, alas, a reflection of its creators, humans who have been called to fill that void with art. For example, the mind-bending, thumb-bending video, or the alternative art of Emily Artful.
Someone
who
tell
have
me
writ-
what a loft is!
This art only created a greater void, essentially saying, like, you're just adding shit content to the internet. I also realized at this point that he is pretty much trolling with the mind-bending, thumb-bending reference. I don't even know what that is. So I started to relax a little bit, and that's where I try to kind of tap into his human side, because again, I am still not 100% sure what his end game is here. What I say here is cut off, but I probably said something along the lines of, I don't understand why you think I'm so evil. That because I'm such a bad person in your eyes, that everything
Yeah, that's the first thing that I do every time I receive death threats. And then people start taking pictures, like, fucking down the road. First thing I do is go, surely you're a compassionate person, right? Like, like little ducks, right? They must, like, warm your heart, like a tap into
I create is somehow
humans,
devoid
right?
of feeling. And then he sends, all art reflects the greater void of human limitations. Alas, Mother's Day cards and subscriber drawings are no exception. Only the mind-bending, thumb-bending video can transcend this void through its sheer bendery and avant-gardeness. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he's just mocking my content. Hey guys, Future Emily here again. Here is a snippet from that video Anthony posted discussing what it was like recording music while he lived in his car. In the snippet, he discusses why he's not like the other boys and why he can't get along with other musicians. Now, I don't mean to sound full of myself, but I do believe that he has me at the forefront of his mind when he is talking here. I know he's expressed these views to me in the past about other people, so I don't think he is only referring to me. But if you listen to his language, there's just a lot of hatred and anger and bitterness in his voice while he discusses this in a video that was supposed to be about him recording music.
You moron, I know what a loft is. Why is she saying, are you in the loft? Why would he be in the attic? A little cubby above the ground where a bed often rests. I know what a loft is, but why would she be saying he's in the loft? Or are you in the loft? What are your thoughts on Elliot Rodgers? I think he's a despicable human being.
In a car. Also,
I've actually read some of his stuff, and the guy was legitimately mental. Like, mental.
he brings up some really specific points that are kind of referenced in these Snapchats about like the ego and the desire.
I actually read Elliot Rodgers' manifesto to my sister. And we just sat there and laughed about it because it's so fucking ridiculous. Unreal.
To get like views and money getting in the way of making real art, which I think is so funny considering who his girlfriend is. But okay, hate to break it to you, Anthony, but I continue to make content that I liked regardless of the views. I pick up a sponsorship here and there to, live. But your girlfriend or wife or whatever she is continued to shove her fake story times down her subscribers' throats until she realized she would get lots more views if she started sucking on the drama teat and ended up turning her channel into one notch below content.
No, she said loft. She said loft. It was in the screenshot. The guy said loft. I don't know. I don't know. What the
farm
fuck
because she
she's talking
features
about.
artwork that isn't even hers. Oh, you're doing it to support smaller creators, Shannon? Is that right? No, I think you're doing it to pump out content faster than the sour milk flows from your lolcow udders. But fuck me, right? Because I'm the sellout because I chose to show my subscribers how I make cards for all the wonderful mothers in my life on Mother's Day. Sorry, the hypocrisy just flipped a pissed off switch in me. Here's the clip.
And at a certain point, I'm pretty relieved we decided to
Fucking
live out our cars in a
boom.
place like America where there's clean water
Holy
available pretty much at all
shit.
times. And, basic commodities like, cars and functioning streets and things like that. Like things that are just so ubiquitous you don't even notice at this point. It actually made it manageable. And again, it wasn't easy to get out of it by any stretch of the imagination. But, basic things like that seemed to make it a bit more doable. And I think what's crazy to me at this point is the amount of musicians I've known who are way more technically proficient and more gifted than I was or will ever be. And they gave up. And whether it be from just they couldn't manage criticism or, quote unquote, making it didn't come fast enough. And it's like, man, all the incredible musical ideas that could have been executed if
They
they just
didn't
kept doing it,
come
and they just
fast
kept going.
enough,
And I'm obviously not saying that I'm
guys.
some sort of success story or something like that, but because at a certain point I'm basically a nerd with a shitty mouth that makes a bunch of noise. So I do think I'm at least competent though. And I figure, again, if I can manage it, why can't other people? I think a lot of musicians get lost in metrics and data and analytics and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, to some extent that's important, but I think at another point that's the ego talking, and the ego gets in the way of a lot of things. And it's just not really conducive to, I don't know, a healthy creative environment, or at least, again, trying to build resiliency or competency or anything like this. Because I think a lot of that stuff, especially when you're starting, it's a big show. And it's like, again, I'm not saying that it's not important and ignore all of it forever, but if some of these people just kept going, I mean, they could have built something great. And I think they could have come up with fantastic works of art and fantastic pieces of music. And at a certain point, again, whether it be the ego or, the show's not working or whatever, they just gave up. And it's like, I'd rather built something with my hands than just sat there and, complain that things weren't going fast enough. So I don't know, that's what I got out of being homeless for a couple years, and bye.
I just wanted to show you guys that clip because I thought it was really interesting. Back to the Snapchat stuff. I felt a little bit more relaxed, like I could kind of try to tap into that softer part of him. So
Why was it interesting? Ugh. Why? Explain to me like I'm a fucking 10-year-old who doesn't know what's going on.
said, well, I drew my subs because I know they'd like that. I made my mom a Mother's Day card because I love her. And I make every mom in my life one every year. Yeah, sometimes they aren't the artiest of arts, but there's something I and others enjoy. It's kind of that simple. I then try to tap into that human side a little bit more. I say, by the way, I didn't realize Shannon was your girlfriend until I started following her on Instagram and she posted about working with you. I kind of panicked and unfollowed her. No disrespect, of course. I just don't want any contact. And the reason I've not told her about you harassing me is because I really don't want to ruin your life. I genuinely want you to be happy. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It didn't feel right. Just don't come to my apartment and don't bother my family. You can keep making accounts and keep trying to prove that you're someone else, keep telling me I'm awful or saying kill yourself. I have 100% undeniable proof it's you. You clicked the link, you gave me what I needed. I don't want to ruin your life, dude. I just want to be left alone. He says Mother's Day cards or shadow of the mind-bending thumb-bending video. I may have to unsubscribe unless your content can reflect the profundity of the mind-bending thumb-bending video with something that is not a lightweight craft or an update on your pregnancy. Again, I soften.
These are the same photos. These are like the exact same photos that we just saw earlier. This person isn't actually here. Maybe they've been here and they've taken these photos, but I don't think they're there anymore. Probably not. Maybe, I don't know.
A little bit further and I say, lol, Andrew, okay, I will take that suggestion to heart. But can you please stop scaring me? Call me all the names in the world. Criticize my work. That's
lol, Andrew. Oh, fuck.
Fine, but I'm very protective of my family. And then I say, also, what did you think of the perfect poem? Was that okay? I feel like I put a lot of heart into that. And reading this disturbs me because I know myself. I hear and read that fear. I'm just like, please, can you stop scaring me, please? I'm begging him. But I'm trying so careful not to set him off at the same time. And then I'm literally trying to appease him. If I make better content.
I'm sure she actually, I'm sure she's saying that she's mentally unwell and stuff. I'm sure she was actually scared for her life. And if she's saying this stuff about him and it's true and he's actually deranged, says that he's gonna shoot up a school and then is taking photos near. I'm like this isn't an unreasonable thing to believe, right? It's why wouldn't you go to the police? You're completely right, Sleepy Cerberus. Why wouldn't you go to the police about this? Being threatened, your life, we're not being threatened explicitly, but
if I make content that you don't deem as devoid of emotion or of heart, that isn't unacceptable to you, will you leave me alone? That is how this is reading to me. He then says, Andrew knows not of the spiritual
what I'm saying here is I don't think she's being disingenuous. I don't think she wasn't scared for her life, but you need to take different steps
of the mind-bending
and engage with the person who you believe is threatening you.
Thumb-bending video. He is but a prole in that sense, trapped in the mechanisms of
it's
day-to-day life. Then he says, revamping your channel into a mind-bending thumb-bending video parody account is the only way, I'm afraid.
Okay, I don't care. Okay, I get it, right? Andrew, crazy guy. Alright, sure. I'll fucking believe that. I care about Shannon. I don't care about Andrew. I don't fucking care. I want to know what this has to do with Shannon.
To be
I've been told Andrew is not, or fucking Anthony is not Shannon's current husband. So it really serves no relevance at the moment.
Separate hater of mine. And on that link, I attached an IP tracker. And because we had mutual friends, I knew exactly where Andrew and Shannon lived. So I sent over the bait. What accused me of supposedly person stuff. Do I take that as him being a troll, or do I take that as a threat? I want to backtrack a little bit and talk about how I said I had undeniable proof that Andrew was the person stalking me, that he clicked a link and I was able to trace his IP, because this was the first time that I had done that. Now, after the Twitter incident where Andrew accused me of supposedly buying subs, I was very suspicious that my stalker up until that point had been Andrew. So I laid out a trap where I sent one of these profiles a link pretending to be another separate hater of mine. And on that link, I attached an IP tracker. And because we had
Alright, I'm not gonna lie, this is fucking deranged behavior. Why engage with these people whatsoever? Don't fucking send IP trackers to people. What? Don't do this! What is wrong with you? This is deranged behavior. Do not fucking partake in this kind of behavior where it's like, oh, I received some mean messages and someone's stalking me, so I'm gonna grab their IP address. Don't fucking do that. It makes you look like a crazy person.
Friends, I knew exactly where Andrew and Shannon lived. So I sent over the bait, he clicked on the link, and wouldn't you know it, the IP address took me directly to where they were living. What's interesting is back when
I have done this twice. I have done IP grabbing twice for personal things to do with relatives in my personal life. I'm not fucking doing this on like this online freak show. Okay.
My Facebook account was hacked. I wasn't aware that Andrew was doing any of this, right? But Facebook had sent me an email basically saying, here's where the unknown login came from. The IP address pointed to the city where Andrew was from and where he resided in at the time. And I didn't think anything of it because it was 2013. I was 21. My world was small. And like all my friends came from this specific area. So it could have been anyone, really. But when everything started falling into place, it was like an anvil hit me. Of course, it was Andrew. You've got to understand, it took a really long time for me to really figure out what was going on. For the longest time, I thought I had like two completely unrelated separate stalkers that were not related to one another and that they were just harassing me. And this was like part of the YouTube environment. I just kept thinking, I'm not relevant enough to have two completely unrelated stalkers. This can't be right. Now this makes so much more sense. How they had the time and the resources to make so many sock puppet accounts. I mean, just tons. And I'm frustrated with myself that I didn't document more before like 2017. The truth of the matter is I didn't want to see this shit. I didn't want to interact with these fucking sock puppet accounts that were bullying me and shaming me and fucking trying to rally people against me. So I would just delete and block and delete and block. And finally, I consulted with a lawyer and they're like, don't do that. Save everything. To the best of your ability, you need to save everything. And after everything, I consulted with the lawyer. I went back to the police. I even hired a private investigator for a short time to do some digging. I, one, ran out of money, and two, was advised by the lawyer not to take this to court. There would be a lengthy court battle, and it's not like justice will be served because it's really hard to prove that Shannon and Andrew ran all those sock puppet accounts because there was so many of them. And I fully
got their fucking IP address. That doesn't seem very hard to prove. I don't know. I'm not gonna make a fucking obnoxious statement like that because I don't know what I'm talking about. But
acknowledge that probably not all.
It seems like pretty circumstantial evidence. Again, it's circumstantial evidence. But like, Andrew messages her, and then on the same day, she gets messages from a sock account that is talking about her like buying subs, right? Right? Like, pretty strong evidence that Andrew here or Anthony's a fucking nut job, okay?
Those comments were coming from Andrew and Shannon.
And then if she's apparently got their IP address, that's more circumstantial evidence if that's connected to their IP. Like, let's say I'm a judge and I have a decision to make. Either one person is being impersonated and then harassing someone else, well, that person's the person who's done it. Like, I don't know.
But when you've been stalked as long as I have, you can detect your stalker's language to the point where I could start to differentiate the voices between Andrew and Shannon. And what's really interesting is it was definitely Andrew in the beginning. Like, I really think Andrew just roped Shannon into this mean girl obsession with me, and Shannon kind of became the mastermind over time. I could see the transition from Andrew into Shannon. Now, whereas Andrew was more kind of threatening and domineering, not that Shannon wasn't, not that Shannon didn't love to make vague threats against me, Shannon was more catty and mean girl. That'll change when the Rewired Soul drama happened. And in case you guys didn't know, there used to be this channel, I don't know if he's still around, called the Rewired Soul. And in the beginning, he was making videos just talking about mental health, and he was in recovery like I was, and he made some pretty good videos at first. I befriended him. Then he started talking about other people's mental health without their consent, and it just all went downhill. And when I tried to hold him accountable and be like, dude, like, this isn't okay, he blamed everybody else but himself. It was just an entire mess, and I definitely regret befriending him. But since I had publicly, I think I just tweeted at him a few times, so people were aware that him and I had talked during that whole debacle. I got a DM on Twitter from someone named Datboy, and they say, oh dear, looks like you're friends with a fraud. Do you want to be hurt in the worst possible way? Somebody is a bad mommy. Maybe we let everyone know how bad of a mommy you are. Keep telling people you're sober, girl. Maybe if you say it enough, people will believe it. Have fun endorsing your fraud, druggy bitch. Have fun faking your sobriety for your mindless followers. They believe you, but no one else does, my dear. You bad mommy. I've got receipts, druggy bitch, with a winky face. Hey guys, future Emily here again. I know you're probably thinking, how do you know all these comments and DMs and things are coming from Shannon and Anthony? How do you know they're not just regular hate comments? The part of the art community that I belong to, you know, with Monique and Bailey and Hello Alice and Doodle Date, Super Ray Dizzle, Casey Golden, Ace of Clay. I could go on and on. That part of the art community I feel is a generally really positive one. It doesn't mean we don't have our fair share of drama sometimes. It doesn't mean that we don't have hate comments. They just look different from, say, the gaming community or even the art commentary community. Let me put it this way. When Shannon was preoccupied with something else, probably traumatizing another creator, it was very easy to tell because I would get far few comments wanting me to go check out CreepShowArt because she's copying me. I get far few comments telling me, hey, look, I've got all your videos archived. I get far few comments being like, you're a neglectful mother, or you're trying to shove your kids down our throats. I get far few comments that start with, does anyone else hate when Emily does blank? Because these comments always came in clusters, and the accounts that they came from were usually pretty barren. Maybe they have a couple playlists here and there. Extra points if that account came into existence within a month of commenting. Not only that, but I'm sure you've already been able to tell that Anthony has a very specific way that he types, a very specific way that he phrases things. He likes to wax poetic with a hint of trolling in there. Shannon is typically a lot more long-winded. She likes to make a lot of excuses to try to cover her bases. The one thing they have in common in their phrasing, though, is they're incredibly condescending. They like to talk down. They like to shame. Like Anthony's tweet to me, for instance, 200,000.
How do you know? How do you know that it's Shannon that's saying this stuff? Well, sometimes when Shannon was in drama with other people, I would get fewer comments. Now, I can't prove that, and I can't show it, but it did happen, so take my word.
views isn't viral. Judd. Snarky, condescending, patronizing. He wants condescending. They like to talk down. They like to shame. Like Anthony's tweet to me, for instance. 200,000 views isn't viral. Judd. Snarky, condescending, patronizing. He wants you to know that you're pathetic. Whereas Shannon's language is a lot more overt. Have you guys seen Emily's shitty jewelry and charm?
I was hoping that it would be a bombshell video. Blow open the drama and like actually set a consensus. I don't think it's gonna do that.
Arms. Like, do people actually buy these? I also think Shannon really gets a kick out of seeming like she's helping you and being a good person, when in reality she's just reciting all the dirt that she has on you, just to remind you that she could bury you in a second. But if you try to speak up for yourself, she's like, oh my god, you took it the wrong way, wow. You'll see a few really great examples of that later on in this video, but I'd also highly recommend checking out Hopeless Peach's video on the matter. Peach shows a few really good examples of her trying to calmly stand up for herself.
We might get into that.
I'm sorry to keep popping in here like this.
I
I feel like this specifically
if we go and move on to that, I'm gonna make a cup of tea halfway through.
is something that needed to be said, so you know what to look for going forward. You can even see the shift from Anthony to Shannon as the years go on. Now, my addiction was something that I think fueled Andrew and Shannon's obsession with me. I think they looked down on me for it, and I think they thought that made me less than. I think they thought that made me like a party girl, which is, I mean, the opposite of what my addiction was like, and I think that kind of gave them like a free pass in their mind to treat me like shit. So it was something a lot of their sock puppet accounts like to bring up, trying to disprove my sobriety. Also, I don't know if you guys are noticing kind of a speech pattern here, but when they talk to me, it's very condescending, it's very snarky, accusatory a lot of the time, and threatening, just like a very veiled, vague threat. Except in this instance, it's not veiled. It is a direct threat. I'm going to hurt you in the worst way. And I interpreted that because they kept saying mommy, mommy, to mean they were either going to hurt my children or find a way to get my children taken away from me. Because this is not the first instance that Shannon has alluded to me being a bad mother. Many years ago, I made a few videos that I've since deleted that were just totally for fun. It was like kind of a silly, not like alternate reality game, but I changed my channel for Halloween, and I did this thing with my, at the time, I think he was like a year old, my first son, Beanie, let's call him Beanie, and we did this really fun, like little like a collaboration between mommy and baby.
Okay. Let's put that to the side for a minute. She just made the allegation that she thinks Shannon was trying to get her kids taken away from her. Ugh.
And it was about like how he's got the spawn of Satan inside of him and we have to exercise him. And if you guys were around then, you know it was totally harmless, super cute. My baby and I had lots of fun. And it wasn't like this thing that I was like trying to get so much money for. I knew it was quote unquote off brand. It was silly. It was cute. I'm sure it exists somewhere. I'm sure somebody made a copy. And if you watch it, it was just dumb and campy and fun. And I'm glad I did it. I'm still glad I did it. We had so much fun making it. And I've shown my son since and he just thinks it's the funniest thing. But for some reason, I just kept getting the same comment over and over and over. Oh my God, aren't you guys so like grossed out that she's trying to monetize her kids? Like, oh my gosh, she's just shoving her kids down our throat.
Is this a comment from the CreepShowArt channel?
And I'm sorry, I do one thing. I did that one thing, that little series. It was like 3 episodes with my son, who, I mean, my kids are my life. Like, I think about them constantly. They are my greatest inspiration, my greatest motivation. They have saved me. My babies are my everything. And so to have that, like, accusation lobbed at me was frustrating. And then on my old Redbubble account, I had made a shirt with my son's face on it. And he's a little lollipop, and I think it says one cool dude. I never made that public. Like, I never advertised it as merch. I put that in my Redbubble shop and ordered 2 of those shirts, one to send to my dad and one to send to my best friend, because obviously they love my son. I didn't ever advertise this, ever. But Shannon took this and was just hell-bent on being like, look, she's trying to monetize her kids. She's trying to get money, make money off her kids. Like, I'm so sick of these pregnancy updates. It might be really hard for you to see your channel as anything but a money-making machine, Shannon, but that's not what my channel is. That's why I did the cute little series with my son. That's why I did pregnancy updates, is because my channel is more to me than just a fucking money machine. I know things like that don't get that many views, but I don't care. I genuinely enjoy sharing that little piece of my life with you guys every now and again. I love being a mom. That is part of my life. That is part of my existence. So I'm happy to share it with you guys in bits and pieces.
Alright, holy shit. TLDR, Shannon tried to take my kids away from me. I don't fucking know. Okay, let's move on. I understand you're emotional because someone made some comments about your kids. I don't think that necessarily means it was Shannon.
That was the most ridiculous claim. If you look at her lolcow post, she really liked.
She actually only has 1 bad mum post on her lolcow history. The rest must have been on the YouTube comments, and I was misremembering.
To paint me as a really bad mother. For instance, she says Emily Artful uploaded 2 videos.
Emily Artful uploaded 2 videos trying to
explain her absence, when in reality she left because her views are terrible. Before she left, she was tweeting and deleting about how bad her views were because no one wants a podcast of her talking with other artists. People want fake story time from her, and that's it. That's why none of her other content breaks 100,000 views. So she makes a video saying she almost killed her child 2 times because she got him sick. Then when no one cared, pretended it was creator burnout. That is just a flat out lie.
Okay, if that's what the lolcow admin's saying, then again, take it with a pinch of salt, but it's an allegations being made.
And this is what is so disturbing. She would watch my videos and then go to lolcow, it seems, and just lie about what was in the videos, because most people can't even be bothered to go and watch and make sure what she's saying is the truth. And pretty much everything she has literally ever said about me is exactly that. She takes a sliver of truth to make it believable. So she takes something that I may have said before in a video or tweeted out before, and then she lies. She attaches lies to it because most people could not be bothered to go back and check. So they move on with a really negative opinion of me. And that's exactly what she wants. The video she's referencing, I posted back in July of 2019. It's called These Past 2 Months Animated. And already in the thumbnail, it's got my little Bubby's character like stressed out with the words too much over it. So no, it's not like I posted that video and then all of a sudden nobody cared. So I backtracked and said it was something different. The whole video was to express that I was burnt out, not just creator burnout.
I don't fucking care. Holy shit.
Get my kid sick and kill him twice. That is.
In the video I say that Beanie my son had a slight cold, so I wasn't sure if it was allergies or not, which is often the case. I went to bed one night. I want to know how she fucking made her homeless. That's what I want to know. That's kind of like the big one that I'm thinking about. This signaled to me that I needed to call his doctor and I was... Oh, okay. Okay, great. Your kid didn't die. Oh, I just clicked the wrong button. Fuck. It's somewhere here.
I know I am a good mom, so I think it's important you guys remember that Shannon likes to take a sliver of truth so things seem credible and then sprinkle in all her lies. This will be important later. On October 20-
Again, these allegations made by lolcat admins are not necessarily true. Like, I think that there's a good chance that they could be true, but we don't know that yet, which is annoying. I could see Shannon writing something like that. I don't know. I don't fucking know her very well.
24th, 2018, I posted a video called My Problem with a Big YouTuber. Don't go looking for it. It's private. It caused way too much trouble. And for people waiting on bated breath, no. 2018, I posted a video called My Problem with a Big YouTuber. Don't go looking for it. It's private. It caused way too much trouble. And for people waiting on bated breath, no. That video was not about Shannon. I've never posted a video about Shannon or Andrew. I've been way too terrified to poke the bear. But yeah, I ended up privating the video because over time it caused a lot of turmoil, especially for my friends and colleagues who were completely innocent, especially Cat Fox. I love Cat Fox. She's talented, intelligent. She makes great videos. Go check her out. But for some reason, people were targeting her specifically. Now, there were a few legitimate, real little YouTube accounts commenting and being like, hey, is this CreepShowArt? But I would say 50% of the people saying CreepShowArt were definitely sock puppets. She had the audacity to even use Lily Singh as a handle, which I thought was weird. And she'd comment stuff like CreepShowArt, more like CreepShowArt, am I right? But anyway, of course, Shannon had to react to her sock puppet accounts accusing her on her Instagram story, apparently. At this point in the saga, I kept Shannon at arm's length. I didn't really want anything to do with her. I just acknowledged that she was another art YouTuber.
Why do that? I don't understand this. Like, okay, okay. Maybe it's because I can't get in the mind of one of these fucking creatures who does this kind of thing. But, like, I don't understand why someone is going to make fake YouTube accounts and then put fake YouTube comments on their videos or like on other people's videos and then not even like milk it for views at the very least, right? Like, I feel like the only reasonable explanation for someone doing this is because they want to milk it for the fucking views. Say like, oh, I've been harassed and I've got a stalker and shit like this. Like, she made one video about this. This is CreepShow we're talking about. One video that we're talking about CreepShow. About her, like, apparent stalker and shit. But apparently, she's been doing this for 3 years. She's got, like, hundreds of fucking comments. Okay, I don't know if it's hundreds. But she's got, like, several, like, comments, right? And then she's got, like, stalkers on Instagram and YouTube and all of this shit. And apparently, it's just her doing all of it.
That exist, and that was
it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. It's such a bizarre story.
I wasn't 100% sure if she was in on it or she was actually also a victim, but I was definitely leaning towards the idea that Shannon was involved somehow because I noticed over the years that my stalker's language sort of changed, how they spoke to me changed, but that snarkiness, the accusations, that all kind of stayed the same. So at the beginning, I don't know if you've noticed, but it was like very scary, like, you know, like someone who's gonna.
Anthony is the husband. No, Anthony is not the husband. Anthony is. Oh wait, hold on. Never mind. He might be the husband, I've just realized. BWC has fucking brain damage. Never mind. Never mind. He might be the husband. He might be.
And in my opinion, a little bit more of like a masculine, domineering, like vague, aloof, but terrifying kind of voice, into a more catty, mean girl, bitchy voice. So that led me to start to think that maybe Shannon was involved. So because of all this uncertainty and me not knowing what role Shannon played in all of this, I didn't follow her on social media, but I didn't block her either. I wanted that line of communication accessible in the event that something, you know, terrible happened, then I could confront / let her know what's going on. Because again, didn't know if she was involved, didn't know if she was totally oblivious. So of course her Instagram story totally went unnoticed by me. And if she messaged me with one of her sock puppets, well, I didn't see it because at this point I had made it publicly known that my DMs were closed. Didn't even check message requests. Why? Because Andrew and Shannon have literally changed my brain chemistry because of their incessant harassment. Before I would get a new message from someone I didn't know and I would be excited. Now when I get a message from someone I don't know, I feel deep, sickening anxiety. Shannon's post reads, the people linking me to Emily Artful's video, I've seen it, and no, it wasn't me. Plays Shaggy in background. I've said multiple times that I won't collaborate with other YouTubers because I don't enjoy the implications people get from it. Even if this isn't what the person is thinking at the time, collaborating with someone is a business move. You gain from that partnership. And I never want to be in a position where someone thinks I owe my following, money, and success because of someone else. That's gross. Also, less exciting, and something I might open up more about, but for about 12 years now, I've been harassed online by the girl who catfishes me. I know it's her because she ended up admitting to it last.
You're not even making any money out of this. Why would you like go to all this effort to like make up a story about someone else? I'm not saying about this person, Emily, but like, why would you make up like all these suck accounts and then not even make a video out of it, like to milk it? You're just gonna talk about it on your Instagram. But okay, whatever. Sorry, I'm just gonna rewind because I have not been concentrating.
Shannon's post reads, the people linking me to Emily Artful's video, I've seen it, and no, it wasn't me. Plays Shaggy in background. I've said multiple times that I won't collaborate with other YouTubers because I don't enjoy the implications people get from it. Even if this isn't what the person is thinking at the time, collaborating with someone is a business move. You gain from that partnership. And I never want to be in a position where someone thinks I owe my following, money, and success because of someone else. That's gross. Also, less exciting, and something I might open up more about, but for about 12 years now, I've been harassed online by the girl who catfishes me. I know it's her because she ended up admitting to it last year when I called her out on it, saying it was because she was stressed and didn't have another outlet for it. Also, she felt betrayed.
See, my theory might be right. What if Emily is Amy? That's possible. What if Emily is Amy? I could be right. Imagine that. CreepShowArt is accusing Emily. I don't know whether this is true or not, but like, imagine that. Like, CreepShowArt is accusing Emily of being Amy, her stalker, and then Emily is accusing CreepShowArt of being her stalker. Like, holy
Trait because I
shit.
stopped responding to her emails after a while. Because of her harassing me, my boyfriend, my friends, and sometimes going as far as to try to get me fired. I don't trust people very easily online. Isn't that
And they're both making like the same fucking allegations about each other. Like, holy shit.
winky dinks?
It's
That right there is the most
fascinating.
passive-aggressive shit I have ever...
Is she guilty or not? Well, there's no evidence to say that she's guilty from this video. I thought it was going to be a bombshell. Obviously, I'm not all the way through it yet. But I thought this was going to be a bombshell video with, like, loads of fucking evidence that it was Creepshow. But so far, there's absolutely no evidence to even link this harasser or stalker, which I think Emily probably has, to Creepshow. Apart from Creepshow dating Emily's ex-boyfriend.
read, and is also one of the many breadcrumbs.
And they had this drama here, which she's just talked about. They've had a bit of drama, but this wasn't really a drama. It was more people mistaking who Emily was talking about in a video for Shannon, and then Shannon responding by saying, "No, Emily's not talking about me in that video." But then she also goes on to say that I've had a stalker for a few years and I know it's her. She doesn't say who her is, but I think it's probably implicit that she's talking about Emily here. I don't know. Now that's what leads me to believe that Emily is Amy. Like, come on, those are similar fucking names as well. Holy
close to mind, so
shit.
that if I ever came out with allegations, she could be like, see, I even chose Amy because it sounds like Emily. And of course she picked all
You
the
and Jada do the thing, yeah. We're having rampant sex, yeah. This person's voice pisses me off.
things that she did to
He has a channel with his music and she shared it before, so I'm guessing that she didn't dox this Anthony guy. Okay. Well, that's good.
me, so then I couldn't even come out if I wanted to, because then it would seem like I was copying passive-aggressive shit I have ever read, and is also one of the many breadcrumbs that she started leaving behind that she had a quote-unquote stalker named Amy. I think it's funny that she picked the name Amy. I think she deliberately picked a name that was very close to mine, so that if I ever came out with allegations, she could be like, see, I even chose Amy because it sounds like Emily. And of course she picked all the things that she did to
But you did the same thing! What the fuck? She did the same thing. She called Anthony Andrew.
me, so then I couldn't even come out if I wanted to, because then it would seem like I was copying her instead of her copying me. Now,
But the same argument could be made for you. What the fuck? The same argument could be made that you copied, that you've made Andrew. Oh my god. Ah, this is AIDS.
reason I think she started leaving breadcrumbs when she did is because that Snapchat exchange that I had with Andrew, I obviously screenshotted all of that. What does Snapchat
You know,
do?
okay, this is my new opinion. This is obviously evidence pending, right? But here's what I think's happened, right? I think they've both been like fucking vicious bitches to each other for like years, right? Because they both had like the same boyfriend at some point, or like Emily's boyfriend. Like, basically, here's what I think, right? I think they've just been like vicious bitches to each other for like the last 2 years, and they've both been like stalking and harassing each other. That's my new topic. I think Shannon's guilty. I think Emily's guilty, and that's it. That's the
when you screenshot
that's
it,
the case fucking blown
the other
wide
party.
open.
So at that point, they would have been made aware that I was compiling evidence against them. I had also stated publicly, whenever I had just mentioned my stalker in passing, that the way I'm trying to protect myself is saving everything. Now, because I didn't see Shannon's Instagram...
True Sleuth, this bitch is fucking brain dead. Brain dead. True Sleuth should not be allowed in this community. I want that to be known right fucking now. I'm bringing up the receipts. I'm bringing up the fucking receipts. What a fucking moron. Let it be known that True Sleuth called Josh Pescator, whatever you think about him, he is not a pedophile offender. He does not support Onision, okay? Whatever you think about him, that is not something that he is. He's a lot of things, but he's not that. Imagine being Josh Pescator and hating Chris Hansen so much that you side with Onision. Hashtag deplatform predators. I knew it, I called it. This Josh Pescator guy supports Onision. Why else say that you bodied Chris Hansen? This fucking bitch has had several months now to make an apology after I posted this to her on Twitter, and this fucking bitch has no spine whatsoever. Fucking moron. I believe that she said she called us the pedo news network or something, and I couldn't find that screenshot, so you have to take my fucking word for it, but I'm pretty fucking sure that she said that. I talked to Jack the other day, and I asked him, is that the girl that fucking turned around and said to us and called us the pedo news network? And he went, yeah. So, like, I'm pretty fucking sure that she did that. And she had an opportunity a few months ago when I posted this shit to her to say, like, shut the fuck up and, like, apologize for what you did, and she didn't fucking do it because she has no spine whatsoever. What a fucking bitch. I hope she's never allowed in this community. Fuck that hoe.
Story right away. She ended up DMing me herself on
Sorry,
Instagram.
unrelated tangent that I really wanted to fucking talk. I have another DM on this phone. Hold on. I have another one on this phone. But I couldn't fucking send it across because I logged out of my Discord by accident. Hold on, where is it? I fucking have the screenshot. I don't know whether it was a good one or not, but... Where is it? I put it in my... I took a new screenshot. I could post this for you, but I'm just going to read it right now. Josh Pescator says, but not illegal. This is in response to the Onision not going to jail. I know everyone is high on edge with this Onision story, but you can't advocate for the arrest of someone. Then when it's not illegal, say they should get a charge anyway. Greg won't be arrested or charged. I mean, credit to, like, Pescator. Like, this was, like, fucking... This was, like, the only, like... Okay, not the only. Like, this was something that he was, like, fucking on from day one. That Chris Hansen was a fraud and that Onision wouldn't get arrested. Any evidence from Hansen is tainted now anyways, sorry. And then Tamimi replies, Dollar Store drama alert seems a little bent out of shape ever since his bias of Billy the Fridge and Stevie Wolf has been known. And then True Sleuth said, T unfollowed and subscribed. How fucking ironic. I hate that bitch. Okay, let's carry on. But she is actually, like, fucking brain damaged, unironically.
Because we had that conversation about
the amount of shit takes that she has on the timeline is unfucking believable.
potentially changing the name of her Storytime series. The message thread that Shannon and I had was not in message requests, therefore I was notified about it. Shannon says, "Gah, I'm sorry, I went on a rant from your video. For some reason, people are trying to insert me into it, which I get because I'm kind of a bitch. There's a fucking girl on here /YouTube and now Twitter who is just fucking relentless with this shit, and it's just goddamn annoying at this point. So I was just putting my 2 cents out there. Nothing but respect for you and your video. You're fucking dope as hell, and I'd never try to step on your toes. Really, Shannon? Also, props to you for not saying the name. That's a fucking classy move, my dude. You're 100% more mature than I am. That's another thing. I notice a lot of the like comments. If you guys can find like YouTube comments that are on here /YouTube and now her instead of her copying me. Now, the reason I think she started leaving breadcrumbs when she did is because that Snapchat exchange that I had with Andrew, I obviously screenshotted all of that. What does Snapchat do when you screenshot? It notifies the other party. So at that point, they would have been made aware that I was compiling evidence against them. I had also stated publicly, whenever I had just mentioned my stalker in passing, that the way I am trying to protect myself is saving everything. Now, because I didn't see Shannon's Instagram story right away, she ended up DMing me herself on Instagram. Now, because we had that conversation about her potentially changing the name of her Storytime series, the message thread that Shannon and I had was not in message
I stuttered? What do you mean I stuttered? It's Prison News Network. She should apologize. She's a fucking bitch. I hope she gets it.
Quest, therefore I was notified about it. Shannon says, "Gah, I'm sorry, I went on a rant from your video. For some reason, people are trying to insert me into it, which I get because I'm kind of a bitch. There's a fucking girl on here /YouTube and now Twitter who is just fucking relentless with this shit, and it's just goddamn annoying."
Okay, so Emily is not Amy.
At this point.
I'm
So
guessing.
I was just putting my 2 cents out there. Nothing but respect for you and your video.
Yeah, I'm guessing Emily is not Amy at this point. Okay, so I was wrong. That's a fucking shame. I wish I was right. Oh, come on. That's fucking AIDS. I mean, like, best drama
Fucking dope
ever.
as hell, and I'd never try to step on your toes. Really, Shannon? Also, props to you for not saying the name. That's a fucking classy move, my dude. You're 100% more mature than I am. That's another thing. I notice a lot of the like comments. If you guys can find like YouTube comments that are really like shitty and bitchy and have the word my guy or my dude, like that is Shannon. That is absolutely 100% Shannon. I think she realized that that was like outing her over time. So she even left a comment at one point on one of my videos referencing me saying my dude, because I've said it maybe once or twice ever, and she said, ugh, like people who say my dude like have an IQ of like 4. It was something really catty and terrible, so I just thought that was kind of funny.
Banger insult, boys.
I just couldn't take it anymore. My adrenaline right now is literally like just so high because I remember that exact moment. My hand is literally shaking. I just feel like I could lift a car right now. I couldn't take it anymore, so I finally just decided I need to confront her because everything was falling into place. I knew exactly what she was doing. This exchange is going to be long. It is 41 screenshots long, so I'm going to try to get through it quickly.
Here we go.
I just want you to pay attention to how easily she manipulated me, took advantage of my kindness, of my willingness to give her the benefit of the doubt, and notice how she uses her fake stalker story to try to get some sympathy from me, weaken me, and then further manipulate me. Also, apologies in advance. On the bottom where my empty text bubble should be, it says, because like I said, I don't want to hurt or ruin anyone's lives, for every single screenshot, and there's like Shannon's little bubble above it. I don't know why that happened, but it's there, and for the sake of authenticity and time, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in. Are you the one that's been stalking me, or is it Andrew? We can be candid now because I know it's one of you. Those fake accounts you've been making have led me right to Oregon. I suspected it was him at first when he went on a spree on his main account on Twitter, trying to convince my followers I bought my subscribers and my views. Almost immediately after he did that, a mysterious new Twitter account accused me of the same thing, also with an IP from that area in Oregon. When I first started to get harassed, you both must still have been in San Jose, because that IP came from somewhere in San Jose. But at the time, I had no idea who it was. But now, over time, in order to protect myself and my family, I decided to get smarter. So I just really don't know if it's you or him. Either way, I've been giving all this information to the police, including the more accurate IP from that Lily Singh account. All I ask is to be left alone by you and your boyfriend. It's been 8 years. I also forgot to mention that I baited that Lily Singh account into clicking a link with an IP tracker that led me straight to their new location because they had since moved. Now, interestingly enough, one of the IPs that I had tracked to where they had lived before was from a library. Come to find out that when Shannon and Andrew were living in their car, they had used a library for their internet access, which I now know from watching some of Shannon's older videos.
Because when you live in a car, you don't have very basic
Andrew also said this.
things. Like, you don't have a kitchen, and you don't have a living room, and you don't have a bed, and you don't have a bathroom. So you have to kind of find ways to make up for those things. So for a kitchen, you can fool yourself and say, oh, I'm going to have salads at Walmart, I'll just go and eat really healthy, but most of the time you're having Taco Bell. For a living room, you have a Starbucks or a library because you can sit there essentially the entire day and no one cares.
So what our schedule basically was on a day-to-day basis was basically to get food at about 9 a.m. or so and make our way over to the library and set up so we could essentially work till about 2 or 3 and then get food again and then come back and work till about, I don't remember if it was 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. when it closed. But we basically worked there all day.
So that's an even stronger confirmation for me that, in fact, the person who was stalking me all this time was definitely Shannon and Andrew. Shannon says, literally neither, dude. I say, then why did your boyfriend go off on me randomly for quote-unquote buying subs and views, like from his actual account? This happened almost a year ago. Shannon says, look, honestly, I'm sorry from what you've gone through. I don't know you all that well, but accusing us of doing shit we don't know about isn't cool. Like, Andrew already told me that you thought he did it, and honestly, I didn't worry about it because it didn't seem like that big of a deal. Also, about the sub buying thing, I got message about that as well. Like, 5 accounts messaged me, and I know they messaged other art YouTubers.
The analytical commentary is coming in here. She's going to analyze the language and work out whether she's
They also messaged me edits of shit about you from before the Emily Artful account. Shit that is literally none of my business. That makes no fucking sense. Why would this person who has shit on me send stuff to Shannon but no other commentary drama channel? If they really had shit on me, don't you think they would really want to try to get it out there? No, this is just 1, a cover-up, and 2, this is her in a very roundabout, sneaky way. This is how manipulative she is. Telling me that she still has those photographs of me. Hey, do you know those photographs where you're in compromising outfits and positions? What? And a bit about you. And I know they messaged other. I got message about that as well. Like 5 accounts messaged me, and I know that this told me that you thought he did it, and honestly, I didn't worry about it because it didn't seem like that big of a deal. Also, about the sub buying thing, I got message about that as well. Like 5 accounts messaged me, and I know they messaged other art YouTubers. They also messaged me edits of shit about you from before the Emily Artful account. Shit that is literally none of my business. That makes no fucking sense. Why would this person who has shit on me send stuff to Shannon but no other commentary drama channel? If they really had shit on me, don't you think they would really want to try to get it out there? No, this is just 1, a cover-up, and 2, this is her in a very roundabout, sneaky way. This is how manipulative she is. Telling me that she still has those photographs of me. Hey, do you know those photographs where you're in compromising outfits and positions, and in some of those pictures you're a minor? Yes, I still have those. I said, look, all I am saying is I want to be left alone. If it's not you, then great. But I just find it strange. I have 0 contact with Andrew, and then he just explodes at me randomly from his personal account with his name attached to it. Shannon says, I feel ya, but I can guarantee it's not him. If you want to Skype or FaceTime, I'm up for it, because literally I have nothing to hide on this end. Yeah, you do, Shannon. Yeah, you do. And with that being said, Andrew has a trollish sense of humor. He thought it was funny, but I guess it crossed a line. I said, really? I don't believe that because literally no other art YouTuber has said anything about that to me. I'm friends with a handful of them. Why just you? Please understand why this sounds strange. Shannon says, no, I get it. I had screenshots from them that they had sent to other people, and then when I went to report them, they deleted the account. I said, yeah, I get it would be like him if I had had any contact with him. He wasn't even following me at the time. It was 100% random. 100%. It was very confusing to me. I want you guys to remember what she says here. Shannon says, their name was also like Filter. They also had like a sob story about how you wronged them once upon a time. Again, none of this was my business, and Andrew told me about how you were harassed back in the day, so I just thought it was another one of those anime fanboys who wanted attention. Again, he thought it was funny. They had sent him shit, and we don't have the time to mess with you, honest to God. We've been homeless on and off, working shitty jobs, and working on our art a lot. Like, we don't have time to obsess over you and your really cute family. I want to say no offense, but like, that's not offensive. Shannon continues, I get where you're coming from with the accusation. I have been harassed by a girl who catfished me for about 12 years now.
Okay.
I find that really interesting.
The Amy, supposed Amy person is not Emily. Okay, that's okay,
Because
yeah,
4
that's,
months
like,
after
pretty
this,
much
she made
guaranteed
her I was stalked, you know, for 8+ years story time.
confirmation.
I know exactly how long I have been stalked by you, Shannon. I think it's weird that you put 8+ in your title when you tell me 12 years. Why wouldn't you just say I have been stalked for 12 years in your title? I don't know. I just thought that inconsistency was interesting. Shannon continues, to the point where she tried to convince my mom I was a cam girl and photoshopped nudes with me. See, I find things like this interesting because I was a cam girl for a short period of time. And I also, by Shannon or Andrew, had my nudes sent back to me, photoshopped, like in a mocking way, making fun of my body. Shannon continues, I wouldn't do that to someone else. It doesn't feel great, and it led me to trying to kill myself back in the day. Shannon and Andrew absolutely knew the anguish and the stress and the anxiety they inflicted upon me from stalking me, and they knew that it drove me to the brink of suicide a number of times. So I can't speak to Shannon's mental health and what she has been through, but when she brought that up, it literally felt like she was taking a burning hot poker and stabbing me in an open wound. Shannon continues, I can't really explain why Andrew is as random as he is, though. That one's a mystery. I think she brought that up. Shannon continues, I wouldn't do that to someone else. It doesn't feel great, and it led me to trying to kill myself back in the day. Shannon
This is like fucking. This is, you know what this is like? This is like a battle of like, oh, who's the more like, oh, I tried to commit suicide, but I tried to commit suicide. Like, holy fuck. And it's like, if one person says that they tried to commit suicide, they're trying to manipulate the other person. And they're specifically doing it because they know that that other person tried to commit suicide. This is like childish behavior. Like, it's incredibly. What is wrong with these people? Like, holy shit. I'm not saying that Shannon is a bad person for saying that. But what I am saying is, like, A, why fucking bring that up in this conversation at all? And B, why is Emily then turning around and saying, well, she's only said that because I tried to kill myself? What is wrong with you people? It's like no one can act like an adult online. Like, what is actually wrong with you? Freaks.
and Andrew absolutely knew the anguish and the stress and the anxiety they inflicted.
It's like, it's just fucking. It's actually a fucking bullet point in a drama art video. Like, that's what it's been boiled down to at this point. Like, what is wrong with these people? She's only said that because she knows how much suffering and anguish they've caused me and how I've tried to commit suicide. It's not. This isn't a game of who's the bigger victim. I mean, it is the game of who's the bigger victim, clearly, because, like, I'm watching the same video you are. But, like, why? Why is this where we're going with it?
Upon me from stalking me, and they knew that it drove me to the brink of suicide a number of times. So I can't speak to Shannon's mental health and what she has been through, but when she brought that up, it literally felt like she was taking a burning hot poker and stabbing
It's like
me in
everyone's
an
like
open
fucking
wound. Shannon
15 years old online. Like, they can't act like adults. What's wrong with them? Did you not, like, make these mistakes as, like, a teenager, like, in school with your mates? Like, you said stupid shit, right? And then you learned from it and you didn't say it again.
Continues, I can't really explain why Andrew is as random as he is, though. That one's a mystery. I think he just thought it would be funny. It wasn't, but he'd never intentionally try to hurt you. He's got a lot of respect for you. Like, you've collaborated with him in his music. You know how important that is to him. He's not the type of person who lets someone in like that and then switches on him, you know? If that makes sense. I feel like it does.
She may very well be a victim in all this, and she may very well be telling the truth. And, you know, I'm probably leaning on the fact that she's probably telling the truth right now. But it's just fucking, like, it's leaps and bounds in logic there to go from she's saying that she was suicidal to the only reason she's saying she's suicidal is because she knows it's going to hurt me. Like, holy fuck. Do you understand how insane that sounds? Like, nah, you weren't suicidal. You weren't suicidal. She's not saying that. She's not saying. I know she's not saying that. If I made that argument, I'd be acting disingenuously. But, like, how it feels like to me is that she's coming across as if she's saying, yeah, she might have been suicidal, but that doesn't fucking matter because she's only using it to get back at me. That's what it feels like she's saying to me, even though I know she doesn't mean that. I'm sure she doesn't mean that. I'd like to think she doesn't mean that.
I don't know. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, now that I look back and know who was harassing me, it makes me feel sick to my stomach that I collaborated with Andrew on his music video and on his music and things like that. I think it gave him some sort of sick pleasure to know that like I could just waltz in his room and work with him professionally, just feel totally comfortable having a nice chat with him after we were done working.
What?
Me, it makes me feel sick to my stomach that I collaborated with Andrew on his music video.
I've just fucking clicked the wrong button again. I'm sorry. This is mental behavior. These are mental allegations right here. Only said that she was suicidal because fucking. I've lost where I'm at now, and I'm pissed off. Mental. Right, here you go.
But like, that's not offensive. Shannon continues, I get where you're coming from with the accusation. I have been harassed by mental health and what she has been through. But when she brought that up, it literally felt like she was taking a burning hot poker and stabbing me in an open wound. Shannon continues, I can't really explain why Andrew is as random as he is, though. That one's a mystery. I think someone in like that and then switches on him, you know? If that makes sense. I feel like it does. I don't know. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, now that I look back and know who was harassing me, it makes me feel sick to my stomach that I collaborated with Andrew on his music video and things like that. I think it gave him some sort of sick pleasure to know that
what the fuck
like, I could
is
just
she
waltz
saying
in his
here?
room and work
Like,
with him professionally, just feel totally comfortable having a nice chat with him after we were done working. And then I go home and he's got this immense control over me. I think he got off on that. I said, I'm going to be filing a...
That is a fucking leap and bound in logic. I'm sorry. That is absolutely nuclear. Like, how have you gone from like we're working together in a studio to I don't know my audio. We're going from we're working together, not in a studio, sorry. We're working together and he only wants to work with me because he gets some sick pleasure out of knowing that he has control over me. Do you want to sound crazy? Is that how you want to sound? Jesus.
Restraining order. I just have too much evidence to believe otherwise. I will not be pressing any charges because, like I said, I don't want to hurt or ruin anyone's lives. I'm just a little afraid now that I'm a mother.
The reference for this, the reference she's making. The reference she is making. Oh, fuck, hold on. This is to do with the apparent stalker. Maybe she's gonna go. I don't know. Oh, that's not her URL. Where's her URL? The reference for this, why she is saying that she doesn't want to, like, harm other people by getting a restraining order against her apparent stalker, is because, and I covered this in the last stream, basically, she is a mother who child, and she was concerned that, for the child, because, I don't want to have to do that, talking about the cease and desist, a restraining order. I don't want to have to do that because she has a daughter and this will go on our record, which will keep her from being able to get a job and providing for her child. And I keep going in circles in my head about this because I don't know what to do in this situation. Now, I don't want to fucking detour too much here, but I will detour slightly since we're talking about this situation. This was also something that Ashley Lily talked about, and I mentioned this at the beginning of my stream. Ashley Lily talked about how, particularly in regards to the restraining order, she was apparently behind closed doors, contradicting herself, I believe. Fuck, hold on. Oh. I don't know where I've read that then. Huh. Maybe she deleted it, not sure. But I believe that Ashley Lily had said something along the lines of... Maybe I'm wrong, actually. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't find it now. But I thought that she had said something along the lines of... Shannon had been saying, being friends, that there was some hypocrisy stuff going on or something. Stuff didn't line up or something. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't find that now. So maybe that's not true. I don't know.
I want to protect my children and my family at any cost. The restraining order will prevent Andrew and you by associating.
Mate, these are fucking YouTubers. What do you expect? Yeah, they're degenerates. Some people just never change. I'm too autistic for this shit. Had to dip out for a while. Any smoking gun screenshots that... Yeah, no, they don't. Bro, that's a cat. Nope. Also heresy. Hearsay. Awesome. Sounds like stuff he will gobble up anyway, as if it's 100% accurate. Sure, there's generally no hard proof yet. She used dream. She used a dream and said that it was her vernacular that proved it was her. This girl could very well be telling the truth, but like at this point, like from some of the things that she said, she just sounds like fucking insane. I'll be honest. We'll carry on anyway.
Of IP from contacting me, but that's okay because we don't really need to.
She's not insane on everything, but she's made herself sound insane by saying certain things.
Anyway, so if it's not you, you have nothing to worry about because a private investigator will locate the address and the new IP. And if it's not you guys, then the hunt continues. Here's where I start to show a little bit of doubt and weakness, and she just.
But at the moment, I'm leaning on the fact that Shannon. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what I believe. I believe Andrew had some involvement in it, or Andrew fucking Anthony had some involvement in this early on. Whether Shannon had any involvement in this, I don't know. I didn't like how Shannon used her, like, past suicides as, like, a talking point in the Instagram DMs. That was a bit fucking dirty to me, to be honest, but...
really pounces on it. I said, look, if I'm wrong, please forgive me. I know I seem crazy, but it's been 8 years of harassment, and I have an obligation not only to myself, but to my children. That's why I've done nothing up until this point. I didn't care that it was just happening to me, but my kids are my whole life. Shannon said, no, I completely understand. I said, I'm sorry. I know I sound insane if you really have nothing to do with this, but I just have to go with my gut. Again, if
fuck, have I read this the wrong way around? Why are the DMs this way round? I'm so confused. DMs that you send... Fuck, DMs that you send are on the right-hand side. I have fucking brain damage.
It's really not you guys, then that will...
I have brain damage.
Shannon said, do what you need to do, but it isn't me. It isn't Andrew. That's all I can vouch for. If anything, he's more confused as to why you think it's him when he had you in a video.
Hold on, I need to go back and double check this now, because it's
trollish
sense
sense
on my mind.
of humor. He thought it was funny, but I guess it... Shannon said, he wasn't even following me at the time. It was 100% random. And said, again, one of those anime fans to God over you and your really cute family. I want to say no offense, but like, that's not offensive. Shannon continues now.
No,
I
wait,
get where you're coming from with the accusation.
God, they're not on the left-hand side and right-hand side. It was Shannon, I was right.
A number of times.
Oh, this is so fucking
I can't speak.
Unreal.
Will prevent Andrew and you by association of IP from
It's hard to tell which DMs
filing a
are on the
restraining
left
order.
and which DMs are on the right, because, I mean, these are Shannon DMs here on the fucking, and they come all the way over here.
I just have too much evidence to believe
all the way over
otherwise.
here.
I will not be pressing any charges because, like I said, I don't want to hurt or ruin anyone's lives. I'm just a little afraid now that I'm a mother. I want to protect my children and my family at any cost. The restraining order will prevent Andrew and you by association of IP from contacting me, but that's okay because we don't really need to talk anyway. So if it's not you, you're afraid to believe otherwise. I think he got off on that.
Maybe this is Amy. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind.
I said, I'm going to be filing a restraining order. I just have too much evidence to believe otherwise. I will not be pressing any charges because, like...
I ended up not having to file because my stalker miraculously disappeared. Shannon. I wonder why. Is a mystery.
Like I said, I don't want to hurt or ruin anyone's lives. I'm just a little afraid now that I'm a mother. I want to protect my children and my family at any cost. The restraining order will prevent Andrew and you by association of IP from contacting me, but that's okay because we don't really need to talk anyway. So if it's not you, you have nothing to worry about because a private investigator will locate the address and the new IP. And if it's not you guys, then the hunt continues. Here's where I start to show a little bit of doubt and weakness, and she just totally pounces on it. I said, look, if I'm wrong, please forgive me. I know I seem crazy, but it's been 8 years of harassment, and I have an obligation not only to myself, but to my children. That's why I've done nothing up until this point.
This is pretty good evidence. It's not good evidence that CreepShowArt is a stalker, but it's pretty decent evidence. If what she's saying is true, that is. If what she is saying is true, that the stalking miraculously stopped after this point, then that is pretty interesting to see, I won't lie. It's pretty... I don't know whether that's true or not, and it's pretty difficult to prove either. It wouldn't be difficult for her to prove, it would be difficult for most other people. But I will say that this is making me lean more onto CreepShowArt might be good. I'm definitely...
I didn't care that it was just happening to me, but my kids are my whole life. Shannon said, no, I completely understand. I said, I'm sorry. I know I sound insane if you really have nothing to do with this, but I just have to go with my gut. Again, if it's really not you guys, then that will prove itself. Shannon said, Do what you need to do. But it isn't me. It isn't Andrew. That's all I can vouch for. If anything, he's more confused as to why you think it's him when he had you in a video while you were being harassed, and he got shit from it, you know? So this is the second time she brings up me working in a video while you...
Sorry, they were working... What? Sorry. Andrew. This is the same guy who she's accusing of rape, I think. And also of harassing her. And also of accusing her of sub-buying. And she's working with him. I don't... Maybe there's a timeline issue here. Maybe she... I don't know. Maybe there's a timeline issue. Seems a bit weird that you're like... If someone did that to me, I would never see them again. I'd never commute. I had something like nowhere near as bad as fucking rape whatsoever. Like, I nowhere near. Happened to me like a year and a half ago. And I haven't fucking seen that person ever again. I just fucking removed them from my life. Like, holy shit.
You were being harassed, and he got shit from it, you know? So this is the second...
When I say it's nothing to do with rape. It's not a sexual thing. But, like, something bad happened. And I was like, we're not interacting at all anymore. Like, you've lost the ability to, like, fucking talk to me. Like, why would you go and, like, I certainly wouldn't be fucking working with them. Like, holy shit.
Second time she brings up me working
But
with
I don't know, maybe
Andrew
there's, like,
while I
timeline
was
error
being
here.
harassed, and she uses it as a way to kind of clear their name. What I find odd is that she remembers those two things were happening simultaneously, because if I'm really just like, yeah, just my boyfriend's ex, like, whatever, I don't think that would be something that would be in the forefront.
Yeah, Shannon not defending herself is making me think that she's guilty. But I also understand that she is like a mentally ill person who might have anxiety, and that I understand that could cause her a lot of stress, and she could really struggle in responding to something like this. Like, I understand it from that kind of point of view, but at the same time, like, the circumstantial evidence is building up, like it is, and if she doesn't respond, like, the vast majority of people, and I think myself even included in that, are gonna presume that she's guilty, even though there's no evidence. It's just circumstantial evidence. It's not a good situation either way. We've kind of fucked from both sides. I've got a video to work on. Au revoir. Have a nice evening. Wherever you are in the world, have it.
Of her memory. I just think it's weird that she was able to recall it so easily and use it as a way to, like, clear their name. And also this kind of just confirmed to recall simultaneously. Second time, why you think it's him when he had you in a video while you were being harassed, and he got shit from it, you know? So this is
actually a decent point. What she's saying here is, basically, because CreepShowArt earlier in the messages said that they didn't know what was that her and Anthony didn't know what was going on, and now she's saying, "Oh, but I remember this specific thing where when you were working with Anthony, you were getting harassed. Like, I remember that. So how could it be me or Anthony? Or like, why would it be me or Anthony if you're working with him? Why do that?"
As to why you think it's him when he had you in a video while you were being harassed, and he got shit from it, you know? So this is the second time she brings up me working with Andrew while I was being harassed, and she uses it as a way to kind of clear their name. What I find odd is that she remembers those two things were happening simultaneously, because if I'm really just like, yeah, just my boyfriend's ex, like, whatever, I don't think that would be something that would be in the forefront of her memory. I just think it's weird that she was able to recall it so easily and use it as a way to, like, clear their name. And also this kind of just confirms that Andrew got sick pleasure, or both of them got sick pleasure from me coming over and working with him.
That is fucking a lunatic allegation.
While they secretly harass me online, because she remembers it so readily.
No, it fucking doesn't. Like, it doesn't. I'm sorry, that's not proof that they're fucking getting some sick fucking that they're getting some, like, sick enjoyment out of it. Like, there's fucking proof of that whatsoever. Like, that's such a fucking assumption to make. Oh, because she remembers this thing happening, therefore she must be like milking herself to it. Like, holy shit. Like,
just some food for thought.
AIDS.
Shannon says, and I feel ya. I really do. I get where you're coming from on this, but no one here has the time to mess with you. I said, yeah, I promise you there are things that don't make sense to me either. There are several things that make me think it's not Andrew, but there are just a lot of uncanny coincidences, and it may just be that, coincidences. But this is the route I've decided to take. And the truth is, even though I'm mostly convinced, I still respect his intelligence, his art, your intelligence, your art, your lives. I don't want to get in anyone's way. I just want to make stupid art videos for my internet friends. I want to live in peace. I can take the hate, but I can't take the fear of losing my job and not being able to support my kids or losing my kids. Shannon said, honestly, there's no way for me to prove it's not me, but it'll sort itself out. No, I completely understand that point. You have a family. As someone who's sensitive issues, that's a huge deal for me. I would never try to hurt someone like that. But there is no way you can actually know that for sure, because you don't know me.
Wait.
And then because of
Wait.
what she mentioned, I start
Wait.
to soften a little bit.
I just realized
to have
something.
some sympathy for her, and I
Emily has kids! Amy has kids! I'm kidding. I don't know whether it's fucking Emily or not.
say, yeah, I know, Shannon. I know you don't, and I'm sorry.
That's pretty
I really
like,
am sorry.
that's a pretty big coincidence. Emily, Amy. I'm sorry. I reckon that they both think that they're stalking each other. I reckon that's what's fucking happening. Imagine it's Andrew the whole time. Andrew's like being fucking like double I don't know, like double fucking them over. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Sorry. If I'm
It'd be
wrong,
so
I'm
funny.
so
Could you imagine if Andrew's like fucking them both over at the same time? Like Andrew's both harassing Emily and harassing Shannon, and just neither of them know it, and they think it's each other. There's so many. The conspiracy theories that are gonna come out of this shit are gonna be insane. Like it's gonna be awesome. Holy shit.
sorry,
It'd be
but I
great.
just have to do this. When I first suspected Andrew, I actually worried about you. Part of me wanted to reach out to make sure you were okay, but I wasn't sure what was real or what wasn't. Shannon said, all I know
Andrew's
is that he
pulling
has too
the
much
strings.
respect for you to do that. I don't know you well enough to spend that much time on it.
Next up
You
on
need to do what's right for
InfoWars.
you. No, I completely understand. If I thought your partner was doing that, I'd probably want to reach out too. You don't have to be sorry. I understand. I completely get it. When I was going through shit, I once accused my sister of being behind it, so I understand. Then I said I thought it was maybe Andrew and Brandon for a time, especially because Brandon is so intense and that can be contagious. And then when I brought up Brandon, it was like she saw an out and pounced on it. Shannon said, I think it's Brandon. Last year, Brandon tried to get me fired because Andrew essentially chose me over him. Also, he tried to have an art YouTube, and it hasn't been going well. We all moved to location
Fuck is Brandon? Okay, Brandon is actually someone they've censored.
together, lived in cars together, and he essentially tried to
Brandon doesn't sound like Emily. I'll be honest.
drive Andrew and I apart. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. I asked, where does Brandon live now?
Sounds like CreepShow.
Shannon said, mainly because he's tried
Why do
shit
they
with me
all have
before and
similar
Andrew had to
names?
step in. I don't know.
No. Andrew and Anthony are the same person. It's just she didn't want to fucking dox Anthony, but now she's decided she's gonna dox Anthony anyway. And I'm not fucking. Apparently, Anthony's a public person or whatever. So
Somewhere in location still, but I don't
From
talk
what
to
I've
him or look
seen.
at his shit. I had to
Like, he's
block him
got,
because he
like,
started
music and
messaging my
shit, right?
followers, telling them I was a cunt and shit. Sounds really familiar. Shannon continues. He directly tried to sabotage my channel a couple of times. Sounds really familiar. I said, could he possibly live in location? I know that's where you guys were originally headed. Shannon says, I think so, yeah. I don't know for sure, but it's a couple hours away.
fuck. I don't get subscription alerts. That's something that I get on Social Blade. What's it called? Streamlabs? I get subscription alerts. Well, thank you for subscribing. You're a valued member of the channel.
I said, his last name was spelled last name, right? Shannon said, yes. Oh, apparently he lives in location. I just asked Andrew. Neither of us has talked to him for a year or so. I said, okay, I'll give that information to the PI. Look, you don't know how badly I want to believe it's not you guys. I wanted to believe it was some random nut job. Shannon said, yeah, I completely understand. Completely. Do what you need to do. And as for Brandon, if he is or was behind it, we didn't know. Andrew wouldn't have let you near him, and I just didn't like being around Brandon in general. Shannon continues, you need to keep yourself safe and do what feels right. Getting a PI
Just
and
thought I'd read out the subscription alerts. Hitler draws. Thank you for subscribing. QT Kitten, thank you for subscribing. And Lee Kent, thank you for subscribing. I didn't realize that this is a thing. I guess it is.
your family is exactly right. I have nothing but respect for that. No judgment, no bullshit. I understand. I've been through it, and had she not admitted to doing it, I would be where you are now. So right
Hitler
there,
draws.
she admits that Amy had admitted doing it. So if Amy really is me and
Oh,
I'm the one
right.
harassing her,
Amy is
then
not
Shannon,
Emily.
you must have evidence of me admitting to stalking you somewhere, because right there,
Right,
you
hold on.
claim
I need to
that
actually
your
look
stalker
at this
is me
fucking DM
and do what
because
feels
this
right.
girl
Getting a
makes,
PI
like, leaps and bounds in life. So I don't want to fucking take a word for it. I completely understand, completely do what you need to do. As for Emily, Brandon,
just didn't like being around Brandon in general. Shannon continued.
Brandon. If he is or was behind it and we didn't know, Anthony wouldn't have let him near me and I. him and I just didn't like being around Brandon in general. You need to keep yourself safe and go on what feels right. Getting a no judgment, no bullshit. I understand. I've been through it, and she had not admitted. And had she not admitted to doing it, I would be. Brandon must be Emily then. Brandon why is she the guy name? Only Brandon is Emily. Hi, bro. I'm retarded. I'm so confused. Is Brandon Emily? No, because she uses Brandon and Emily. It's like different
Completely
things.
understand. Completely. Do what you need to do. And as for Brandon, if he is or was behind it, we didn't know. Andrew wouldn't have let you near him, and I just didn't like being
That's
around
decent
Brandon
interesting.
in
I like
general.
that.
Shannon continues, you need to keep yourself safe and do what feels right. Getting a PI and protecting your family is exactly right. I have nothing but respect for that. No judgment, no bullshit. I understand. I've been through it, and had she not admitted to doing it, I would be where you are now. So right there, she admits that Amy had admitted doing it. So if Amy really is me and I'm the one harassing her, then Shannon, you must have evidence of me admitting to stalking you somewhere, because right there, you claimed that your stalker admitted it.
If you're asking yourself,
But does Shannon ever accuse Emily of being Amy? I don't think she does.
Shannon, where are the emails? Where are they in this
But
video?
again, this is such a gay conversation. They're like, who's the biggest who's the biggest victim? Oh, I've been stalked. But I've been stalked. But I've been stalked. But they stalked me for 12 years. But they stalked me for 3. Shut the fuck up. Holy
Video,
shit.
I want to see one of these emails.
How do people have fucking stalkers? Like, holy shit. How does so many people have stalkers? This is insane.
me to another
Like-
giant mistake that I kept making.
Clearly there's at least one stalker here, right? There is at least one stalker, apart from, like, every person who visits lolcow.
This entire time. Every email I got, every derogatory, deranged email about wanting me to die, I read once and I deleted it. At the time, I didn't realize how fucking stupid that was, and I didn't think what was happening was a crime or like important. I very much downplayed what was happening because it was happening to me. It wasn't illegal or fucked up because it was happening to me. I thought it was embarrassing, and I thought if people knew about it, it would be embarrassing for me. I'd be like a bitch on the internet who can't take a joke, and I didn't want people to know I had all these faults that were so alarmingly accurate being pointed out in email and email.
I said, yeah, but it's surprisingly a lot more complicated and expensive. Again, I ran out of money. Than they make it look on TV. So fucking expensive. But yeah, look, please tell Andrew I'm sorry as well. If I'm wrong, I'm a scared fucking idiot. Shannon said, no, you're not an idiot. This has been happening for years, so you're not dumb at all. I'm still paranoid to the point where I don't tell people online shit until it's 2 years old because I don't want them tracking me. I said, thank you for understanding. I wish you both literally nothing but good things and happiness. I truly do, from the bottom of my heart. That's all any of us could ever want. Shannon said, back at you. We have similar experiences. Way to cover your ass, Shannon, which is terrible, but it's at least some common ground. And back at you. You have a supportive husband, very cute baby.
I'm very sure now that Emily's not Amy.
Career. You should be extremely
If Shannon came out and accused Emily of being Amy, I'd be fucking gobsmacked at this.
proud of yourself.
It's not something I actually think. It's just a funny conspiracy.
I'm oddly proud of you, and I don't even know you. If you ever need more info on either Andrew, Brandon, or I, either to clear my name or even if it makes us look worse, let me know. I said, yes, exactly. Lol, thank you, Shannon. You both are wildly talented and intelligent people, and I'd ask for more information, but I worry about doing wrong to you unjustly. Like, I could just ask for your exact address and have Andrew served with papers, but I truly worry if I was wrong, I'd feel awful. I'll just let the PI and the police take care of it. This person, whoever it is, has been doing less in recent years, so I'm just hoping they stop altogether. It's motherhood that's made me distressed and paranoid more than anything. Okay, we were missing a few of the original screenshots at the end, so I went...
The funny thing about all of this, like, Instagram DMs are so easy to fake that, like, all of this could just be fake DMs. Like, they could be. I don't think they are, but they could be. They're like, Instagram DMs are, like, notoriously easy. Like, you can do it on your phone. You don't even need, like, After Effects or Photoshop. Do it on your phone. Not fun.
Went to my Instagram. Thankfully, Shannon did not delete her Instagram. She just deleted everything off of it. So I was still able to access the old DMs, and I took new screenshots. I have since gotten a new phone, so that's why the screenshots look a little different. Shannon discloses some personal information that I don't feel comfortable sharing with the public, and she says, I'm not uber public with that because I hate the idea of people pitting me, and I'm also super private with it. And then some other private information that alluded to the previous private information, more private information, and then she asked, and sever with...
Good to see that she's not posting this private information. You know, that makes me think that she's posting this good faith. Very interesting.
with payers? What does that mean? And I said, no,
You could have very easily turned around and be like a massive vindictive bitch, and like posted all of this private info. And it would make her look bad. Maybe she realizes that it would make her look bad, but like from my perspective, like I see it as like she's making a good faith effort here, not to post something that's not relevant to the she's
I won't tell a soul, I promise.
good.
Then Shannon said, you're the only one who knows other than Annie. I don't know who that is. I said, oh, my bad, papers. When a restraining order is set, one is served with papers, either their place of work, home, a place they frequent, or in this case, where the IP is coming from. Shannon said, oh, okay, if I give you a P.O. box, would it be okay to serve them there? Or can we get something notarized that says something similar? That way you don't have to spend any money. You have a legal document stating we won't contact you. And if it ends up being not us, we can just let bygones be bygones. I don't know. I just realized that makes no sense. I said, actually, that would be great. Is the P.O. box in your name or Andrew's? This would probably help eliminate you guys, if anything. Shannon says, it's both of ours. My full name is Shannon, last name, if that also helps. I said, you don't understand how much I appreciate this. You really don't. Yes, the P.O. address would be great. She gives me her P.O. box. I said, like, I'm actually getting a little emotional because I've been so worried it's been you guys. Thank you so much. Man, she got me hook, line, and sinker. Actually, no, they didn't get me hook, line, and sinker. I 100% was still convinced it was them at this point. And this is something I've had to work on in therapy. I am a weak-willed person. If you are nice to me, I will fold like a house of cards. And I was also still considerably afraid of both of them at this point. So whenever they would show me like a sliver of humanity, I would just cling to it because I just wanted everything to be over. I just wanted to be left alone. So I would try to like play to their kind human side. Again, that tend and befriend response. Now I know Shannon said with her alleged stalker that they became friends and like kept in touch over email or whatever. I would never, ever, ever go that far unless I desperately had to protect myself. But I just mostly wanted them to leave me the fuck alone, and I was prepared to do anything to get that. Shannon said, no, I understand completely. I really am happy to help, even if that means following a restraining order.
I mean, if that were true, then you'd get a
or a notarized letter. Regardless, I know how important it is to feel safe, and you deserve that much. I said, I might be able to just hire an attorney that can write up a document so no one has to deal with police dealings, but I'll have to look into it. I'll talk to the PI next week. The P.O. box may just totally clear you right off the bat. Thank you again so much. From woman to woman, thank you for being kind. Truly, I hope you have a life filled with nothing but success. Andrew as well. You both have a great night. Shannon said, Brandon also used to be on the P.O. box. That might be
brain
important,
damage
but no
degenerate
problem.
to
It's
brain
not hard to be
damage
kind, and
degenerate.
especially in this situation. Really? It seems like it's really hard for you to be truly kind, Shannon. It's hard enough going through what you went through, and we're both more than happy and willing to sign something that says we will not contact you again in any form ever again. And back at you, I'm happy this helps, and happy this made you feel at least a little bit better. It was never my intention to make you feel any which way, but I understand where you're coming from and why you did. Never feel like you have to apologize for that. And I said, thank you so much. Good night. So after this conversation, I had a long, hard think about what I wanted to do next. Did I want to take the information that I had gathered, which was just basically a P.O. box, and that was it. Who's to even say that the P.O. box really belonged to them? And should I take this information and then money that I could be using to have fun with my kids or buy them necessities and use it to pay attorney's fees so we can write up like an informal restraining order? Or I could use the money to pay an even more expensive service and hire a PI to literally physically track down Andrew and Shannon so that I can get in touch with their local police department to serve them with a restraining order. I just said, you know what? I just don't think it's worth it. So I decided to lay low for a little bit, and then I started posting again. And every once in a while, I would get like a comment that was worded a little suspiciously, but nothing too malicious. You know, I got the regular, unrelated troll comments and things like that I knew weren't them. And that was it. After that conversation with Shannon, I never received another threat or taunt again. And that, to me, just further solidified in my mind that my stalker was Shannon and Andrew. Now, I need to back up a little bit. I'm sorry I keep doing this, but keep in mind, I am doing
what is she saying?
that I knew weren't them. And that was it. After that conversation, I would get like a comment that was worded a little suspiciously, but nothing too malicious. You know, I got the regular, unrelated troll comments and things like that I knew weren't them. And that was it. After that conversation with Shannon, I never received another threat or taunt again. And that, to me, just further solidified in my mind that my stalker was Shannon and Andrew. Now, I need to back up a little bit. I'm sorry I keep doing this, but keep in mind
that because she didn't get any more responses from Shannon or Walker, that therefore she thinks that it was Shannon after she had threatened them with
am, doing all of this off of screenshots, and sometimes the date the screenshot was taken was not the same date that the message was sent. I'm kind of hastily putting this together, but I promise this information is very important. This incident happened somewhere between the Rewired Soul incident and Shannon posting on LolCal about me almost killing Beanie. On July 19th, 2018, 4 months before I confronted Shannon, I received a Twitter DM from someone named Britta Filter. Hi, Future Emily here again. What's really interesting is I got a Twitter DM yesterday, June 10th, 2021 at 7:08 p.m. And this Twitter account that's been around since 2017, whose screen name is also Britta Filter, and the message reads, "Hey Emily, I was looking through Shannon's LolCal post again and realized that she posted a deleted video of yours saying that a channel was reposting them. I was wondering if you had seen this channel, name of the copycat channel, and if it's yours or something malicious. Sorry if this is old information or not relevant, just thought I'd mention it. Take care." What's really interesting and is something to think about is this account has been used since the day it was created. Now, I'm not going to post receipts of any of this because I don't want to lead a sheep to slaughter, especially everybody listening. This may not be Shannon. This is all speculation. I do not know the age or location of this person. I did my absolute best to censor things. Obviously, it seems that Shannon likes to have a lot of sock puppet accounts, and I had always wondered if she had...
This is what she just put. But, CreepShow sock puppet accounts thread. How does this want to be? And obviously accounts that she put. Not viral enemy, that's Emily, that's one of the ones that we saw at the beginning, but that was talking about the subbotting. Thank you, True Horror Stories, THS, for subscribing. Very, very good. So these are a bunch of accounts that she believes are Shannon's sock puppet accounts. I want to coin that term, sock puppet. But yeah, that's what she's.
Some dedicated sock puppet accounts that she actually used. But not only that, I quote unquote hear her voice and Anthony's sense of humor, which I guess by extension is also her sense of humor, all up and down this Twitter account. What's really suspicious to me is that the YouTube account referenced is an account that I believe Shannon and Anthony were using to archive my videos. And I have received many comments in the past trying to get me to notice this channel. They're just a bunch of videos with random gameplay footage or sometimes just a still image with my audio play.
Have I talked to CS since all this happened, Bill? I have not. I have not. I don't know what to fucking say to her. I was going to give her some advice on what to do. I just don't know why she'd bother listening to me, I guess. But no, I've not talked to her about it. I've not answered. Just want to clarify, by the way, I was never friends with CreepShowArt, right? We had like one or two, like, you know, like between 15 and 20 back and forth over the space of a year, right? Like we weren't like close friends or anything at all. It was more like friendly acquaintance. And I feel like that's how a lot of people saw her in the community, is like a friendly acquaintance, someone who's like in a like does commentary, but she's in a different community. Like she's not really interacted with much. Okay, like the only thing that people really overlapped with her was the Hansons. But no, I haven't talked to her. And the last time I talked to her was a few weeks ago. I told her happy birthday because it was her birthday. When was that? Her birthday on 14th of May, and I said happy birthday. That's the last thing I said. The thing before that I said is 3rd of December. So, you know, we really don't fucking... No.
Laying over top. But since I've been on this platform for 6 years, I have occasionally had the problematic take. So I believe that Shannon and Anthony wanted me to be bothered, like shaking in my boots, like, oh my gosh, what if people find these videos and cancel me? Like, for one, I have never been afraid to admit when I'm wrong. My viewers can tell you that. That is a credible piece of evidence that you can look back in my history and see. And two, I'm not going to let Shannon and Anthony hold those things over my head anymore. Nothing I had ever done would warrant that level of stalking and harassment. I'm a big girl, Shannon. I don't want to play with you in the sandbox. Besides, cat shit in there anyway. If you want to post my old crack cocaine addled Twitter ramblings, then you go right on ahead. If you want to repost
something, I was gonna
some videos I posted 4 years ago where I said some pretty toxic, self-absorbed shit, you go right on ahead. If you want to post naked pictures of me that you think are so cringy, especially because, you know, I was 15, you go right on ahead. But keep...
Okay, so yeah, now she's fully making the allegation that Shannon has images of her that are child pornography, which means that she needs to be going to the police about this. She's just outright made the... Okay, before it was compromising images, now it's naked images of me at 15. Needs to go to the police about this right fucking now. This is not a fucking drama thing. This is like a real life crime thing. This is like a true crime story, as it were. What is... If she has gone to the police about child porn and the police have replied to... Like, I find that fucking difficult. But maybe it's happened. Maybe. It's very possible. But, like, I find it difficult to believe that if she's claiming that Shannon has child porn and the police turned around and said, well, it's not worth our time or something like that. Like, I find that fucking hard to believe, I'll be honest. She's just made the allegation Shannon has child porn. He needs to post the receipts right now. I'm kidding. I'm not fucking pulling a fucking... whoever that T channel was. I'm not doing it.
Keep in mind, if you do that last one, I won't be the only one having to deal with the consequences. You and Anthony have held this over my head for years and years and years. I am not affected.
So now she's accusing them of blackmail as well. So there's blackmail, harassment, stalking. Well, I know they're not fucking crimes. I understand that, but okay. Blackmail, harassment, child pornography. I find it difficult to believe that you go to the police and they wouldn't say that. Now, maybe that's what happened. I don't fucking know. But, like, it was...
by it anymore. I have made my peace with it. So if you want to post it, you go right on ahead. But let me just say, I won't be the only one with egg on my face. Anyway, back to the original Brita filter message I had received back in 2018. And if you recall, at the beginning of the conversation I had with Shannon, she did mention this account. She said this account specifically had sent her some dirt on me, but she had tried to report it, but then when she went back, they had deleted their account. Well, apparently not. Also, she tried to paint this account as being malicious towards me, but you'll see. Brita filter says, "Hi, Emily. You don't know me, but unfortunately, I know you. I want to explain this as clearly as possible, but it's very difficult for me to get my words out right now with everything I have found and what's going on around me. I don't expect you to reply. I just want you to know what happened, because in a weird way, it does affect you. My brother has been a quote-unquote fan of you for a while now. He has apparently watched all of your videos and has them saved on his computer. There are some of you where you're singing and it's fairly grainy, all the way up to some that I see you are currently posting on YouTube. He has pages and pages of screen names, information on you, and things that I don't think any person should have on someone. Essentially, if you put it out on the internet, he has it. I also found screenshots of when he has harassed you. He made accounts on YouTube years ago pretending to be a girl named Ava, I think she means Aja, but whatever, and bothered you then. I believe he has a list of your past employees, one being an optical shop, and though I am not sure, I believe he might have sent them things about you. He made various Twitters and sent you messages about other people and things that have nothing to do with you. He even started reaching out to various people, followers of you on YouTube and Instagram, with quote-unquote proof that you buy subscribers. I know via screenshots that he sent these with little notes on them. If I had known about this sooner, I would have stopped it sooner, but unfortunately, our family has some communication problems. In this modern age, it's hard to find a reason to check someone else's computer for anything, but I think my parents should have been more attentive with that. I was using his computer for schoolwork and found everything. Even videos of you in a bathtub, which I thought as inappropriate.
A Brita filter is a brand of filter for water.
Truly don't understand.
These names are creative. Whoever's making this shit up, they're fucking creative.
How he got those. I took the laptop and showed the information to my family, and we have all decided it is in his best interest to go to a mental health facility and be cut off from this. I don't know what else I can say, but I am sorry. He was and is a kid, and is currently only 15. I don't know when you started posting or what he first saw of you, but for some reason, you became his fixation. He is going to be receiving help and counseling, and we are going to be spending thousands of dollars to figure this out. I refuse to let this happen to any other woman. I am sorry for doing this anonymously, but because my brother is a child, my parents have told me not to speak out about this with anyone else outside of family. I know that must be inherently frustrating for you, but it's important to me that you at least know that this problem was seen and will be taken care of. If there is anything else you want to know, please don't hesitate to ask. I only made this account to let you know what is going on, because I felt that it was close to criminal for you to not know about something that so dearly affects you. I know when I was being harassed online at the age of 13, my trust in people went down because I couldn't know who did it. I want to tell you it was my brother, a boy you don't know, who at a very young age found you online and became obsessed. There is no other way to say it. He became obsessed. I hope that eases your mind and your heart, and I hope you have a beautiful life again. If you need anything else, let me know. I said, would you be able to do me a favor, so I know this is all real? I need to see/talk to you on video chat, Snapchat, Instagram, Skype, it doesn't matter, because all this information seems suspicious to me. It's exactly what's happened to me to a T, obviously with a huge handful of things missing and some things that I didn't even know that they had on me. And I find it very strange that all this information would be in one place, especially some of the more personal things, like him getting me fired from my job. Unless he specifically wrote that down somewhere, which would also be strange, I just find it unusual. Also, this has been happening for 5 years. I just find all this hard to believe that a 10-year-old would do what quote unquote he did back then. I find it all hard to believe, especially because I know it's you, Andrew, and I don't think you can fulfill my video chat request. And I've already decided I'm not going to take this anymore. I can't be held down by my past mistakes. I've worked hard to improve myself as a person and on my mental health. I needed to be a better person. I am a better person because of my mistakes. You can't hurt me anymore. Brita Filter says, if you don't believe me, that is okay because of what has happened and the legality of it all. My parents are not comfortable with that, but I understand your issues. I hope you find peace, and I am glad you've moved beyond this. Personally, I am sorry that this has happened to you, and I wish you nothing but the greatest success. As for how we know he got you fired and information of the like, he has a video of you crying where you state someone got you fired and text documents of him taking credit for it. Though I doubt I will be able to convince you that this is legitimate, I do hope that you find peace with this, and I understand the trust is not here. If I could Skype with you without risk, I would. But according to my parents, that is a risk they don't want me taking. Meanwhile, I hope you know these were not your mistakes. These were my brothers.
Won't lie, this sounds like the fucking 12-year-old cousin, like word for word.
And he will be paying for them. You didn't and do not
word for word. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like 12-year-old.
Deserve to pay for my brother's misgivings. This will most likely be my last time using this account. I do appreciate your time, and I hope from the bottom of my heart and soul that you continue to do well. I pray you are able to forgive those in your life, and I know you will continue to thrive. Thank you for at least listening to what I've had to say and letting me know that words have gotten to you. God bless. What a ripe crock of shit. First of all, this is a pattern, right? Now that I've gone back and actually looked at some of the stuff people have compiled about Shannon, it's like this is certainly a pattern. She gets called out and she goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she either adamantly denies the allegation or she does this softball apology. And then she's like, okay, I know you guys want more proof. And I'm totally going to get you guys that. But here's an obstacle.
Bill, you're gay. This is not, I'd like to deny these allegations being thrown against me by the chat right now. YouTube is not receiving enough video to make. As such, streamers will experience buffering. This a me issue? Hold on, I'm done all this. I'm always good at notes. Issues. I'll keep streaming anyway. It fixes itself.
As to why the proof either is vague or I can't disclose it. But then she kind of doubles back and she's like, but I do have legit proof, y'all. It's just gonna there's an obstacle in the way, but I have that legit proof. Just you wait and see, to kind of, pacify the angry mob. And then enough of her fans pop up to defend her that it kind of drowns out the angry mob. So just the casual passive viewer is like, oh, okay, so CreepShowArt's fine, right? She's not problematic, right? And then nothing ever comes of anything. There's no real accountability. There's no justice. There's nothing. And whether it be one of her actual CreepShowArt accounts or one of her sock puppet accounts, she repeats this behavior. When she gets called out, she does this dance. Maybe she mixes up the steps a little.
Where the fuck? Where's the proof for this?
Bit, and then nothing changes. Also, wasn't it really interesting that this Brita person just so happened to also have been stalked and harassed when they were 13, just like Shannon has claimed? I think that's really interesting. And I know...
Has Shannon claimed that? Again, why don't you show where she's claimed that? I don't know if she's claimed that. I know that she said she was stalked for a few years. 8 years or 12 years or whatever, which is an inconsistency, but I don't know whether she said exactly 8 years since 13 years old online. I don't know if that's true. And if that is the case, then again, that's pretty fucking that's pretty that's a pretty big coincidence.
A few of you may be like, hey, this Brita filter thing is basically just Shannon trying to quell the storm without, causing a big fuss. She's just trying to let you know that it's over and she's going to get her husband some help. That's not at all how I'm interpreting this. Now that I've seen all those lolcow posts and how she talks about other people and for how long she's been doing this, I am fully convinced that she has been on board this stalking and harassment train of me for so much longer than I had initially suspected. This Brita filter thing was Shannon trying to absolve herself of guilt while still holding something over my head. Hey, I'd really like for this to end, but if you ever come out with anything, here is a list of all the things that we have on you. Some things
I'm well aware that she's talked about the stalker. I'm well aware of that. I get that. I just don't know if that's the specific thing. And it's if that is the case, why not take the 10 minutes to edit down a clip of her saying exactly that, or find a tweet where she says exactly that, and just put it in the video? It's not. I've made a video before. I know it doesn't take that long. It will take you 10 minutes max, 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. Like, it's not that much effort to like just put that little bit of information in there so that your video's got like that much more concrete. Very difficult because I don't want. I'm not gonna take this Emily girl at her word. Okay, when she says stuff earlier like, "Oh, Creepshow only brought up her suicide because she only brought up the suicide because she wanted to get back at me because she knows that I've tried to kill myself before." When she says stuff like that, it forces me to like question like whether or not what she's saying is like hyperbolic or exaggerated or like actually fucking telling the truth, right? Like that, like when she says stuff like that, I have to question her, and as a result I don't want to take things that she says in the video as a fact because she's shown me that some of the stuff that she says is just fucking bonkers, like bonkers. She claimed it in her stalker video. Again, the point is, why doesn't she fucking put this in a video? Like, please, come on. The amount of tweets that have been archived are beyond insane. Yeah,
Even
it's
know
'cause
we
people on lolcow are fucking, like, mentally...
had on you. Do you want a video of you high on heroin and drunk in a bathtub flopping around and reviewing anime, butt fucking naked out into the public? We didn't think so. So let's all just forget about this. This never happened. Let's never talk about it again. What's funny, like I mentioned before, you can...
Creepshow's never gonna fucking... Okay. I know the point that she's making here, but let's be honest, right? Creepshow is never going to post that online. Like, that's never going to happen. Now, maybe she would do it through one of her, like, sock puppet accounts or whatever, but then again, like, you've got no way of proving that that was her, so...
See, I'm still not 100% convinced that Shannon was involved at the time I was responding to Brittafelder. I was totally convinced this was Andrew. After actually having the conversation with Shannon and seeing all her lolcow posts and seeing her patterns and her behaviors, I am convinced that yes, Andrew started all of this. He stoked the fire. He was the one, the man obsessed. But then he roped Shannon in, and boy, oh boy, did she become the ringleader ultra fast. Now, obviously, I face a moral dilemma here with the IP addresses. You can see that earlier on in the video, I did blur out some sensitive information because regardless of how Shannon treated me, the information she gave me was sensitive at the time, may still be sensitive, and I told her that I wouldn't share it, and I'm not going to. And it's not really even that relevant. It was just her, I think, trying to get some sympathy from me, so it's not like that's relevant at all. I do realize that the IP addresses are relevant, however. I can't, in my right conscience, share those IP addresses. It's against my moral code, and my morals mean a lot to me.
I fucking shared. I haven't thought about this very much. It's a very off-the-cuff take. I'd probably post them, for the simple reason that it takes 5 minutes to, like, change your IP address. So it's, like, probably not that big a deal. Can you, like, track someone's IP address just from knowing it? Like, could you dox them with it? Because if that's the case, then I wouldn't. Close to someone's exact location. Right. So I believe, like, if I were to give you my IP address right now, you could track it to, I believe, like, southeast. And it might be, like, the local server for my area. It's not a proper dox of, like, someone's house or whatever. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know exactly. So in that case, I might not. Such as your country, region, city, zip code, longitude, and latitude. Holy shit. But yeah, again, I don't know whether it works on, like, your exact location or whether it works on your, like, local server. I watched CreepShowArt stalker video. My feeling was deflection and evading her actions. Not sure all of Emily's. I haven't watched the video. If she's sat in the video and she's fucking saying, like, oh, I know I've been getting all this criticism, but, like, it's not my fault or whatever. It's because I have a stalker or whatever. Then I would consider it that.
I just don't believe in doxing someone publicly like that. Now, obviously, if I had to get the police involved, that would be a different story. I can, however, give you some other pretty solid proof. So here is the blurred out screenshot of the information, the IP address and everything else. And if we go over here to get info, we can see that I took this screenshot on October 24th, 2018 at 7:31 p.m. We can also see that I
Not concrete proof. Okay.
took these Lily Singh screenshots on October 24th, 2018 at 4:34 p.m. and 4:35 p.m. And here we can obviously see that the video that Lily Singh was commenting on,
Hold on, guys. Just changed my date and time in my settings. Oh, you can't see it. Let me just go to my settings real quick and change my date and time. I don't know whether that's something you can do or not.
big
but I'm
YouTuber,
just
was
suggesting
posted
it.
on October 24th, 2018. And as you can see here, 2 days later, on October 26, 2018, that is when CreepShowArt mentioned me in her Instagram story, and later that evening is when I decided to confront her with the proof. The other IP that I was referring to, the one where I was just like totally oblivious that it was Andrew, I was like, I don't know, it's such a big city, who could it be? I have this email draft from 2013 where it's basically me begging the staff at Facebook to try to help me gain access back.
My name is Emily. Surname. This is my URL, facebook.com/Emily surname. And a cyber stalker has hijacked my account and changed all my information from my email address, my phone number, and my password, so I'm completely unable to access my account. I have reported this problem to the police as this person has been harassing me for months on end, and they have rejected my request as he has said anything endangering my life. Please help me, I'm on the verge of suicide. This person is harassing me 24/7 and now has access to all my personal information that I have exchanged in confidentiality with friends. This is all the information of his IP address.
Back to this account. I'm letting them know that I'm being harassed, and this stalker had hacked into this account. I think they phished me. I think that's really what happened. I even say here that the police turned me away because he hadn't threatened my life yet. I even say down here at the bottom, I am on the verge of suicide because the harassment has become 24/7. Then I include back the IP and the information that the automated Facebook message had sent to me. What's even wilder that I didn't even notice until just now as I'm narrating over the screenshot is 2 emails above, we see an email that says Isla's Universe. And you know who/what is Isla? That is Andrew's old band name. So we open this email and I say, so what I'm planning to do is digitally draw in a vision of never-ending space where he's looking out onto. I'm thinking of having a meteor shower on the top left outside of the door frame. Homage to your old band name, winky face. He's had many band names. And then maybe a small satellite? I'm not sure, but it's the idea of him taking the plunge from absolute nothingness, the white hallway he's standing in, to absolute nothingness. Complete voids, but whereas one is oppressing and colorless, the other half is celestial and constant. I don't know. What do you think? We can go over more after Tuesday. Let me know. Cute little heart at the end. This was 2 months after I almost wrote an email to Facebook staff saying I wanted to kill myself because the harassment was too much to
I don't understand how that's a gotcha, but okay.
bear, and I really would like access to my old Facebook account, please. So if everything I just included was not enough proof for you,
I don't understand how that was a gotcha. Am I missing something like
I'm not sure,
here?
but it's the idea of him taking the plunge from absolute nothingness, the white hallway he's standing in, to absolute nothingness. Complete voids, but whereas one is oppressing and colorless, the other half.
You sent an email to someone you knew, to some guy. This guy that you're claiming is harassing you. I don't get it. It's not even it was a draft or something, right? Oh, fuck, I don't understand.
Is Isla, that's verge of suicide and the information that the automated Facebook message had sent to me. What's even wilder that I didn't even notice until just now as I'm narrating over the screenshot is 2 emails above, we see an email that says Isla's Universe. And you know who/what is Isla? That is Andrew's old band name. So we open this email and I say, so what I'm planning.
Okay, I don't know how that, I don't get it. That is actually very helpful. The Loft is a movie theater where I live. I'm watching the stream back and I thought I'd clarify it's probably the name of a chain of a business. Okay, great. Yeah, no, I'm living here in the UK and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this guy in her loft? What the fuck? Why is he in her loft? Her attic? Holy shit, guys. Not just an online stalker, he's a real life stalker. You're just wrapping up, probably soon. I think it's a link to the manipulation of the toxic relationship. That sounds like...
No. What do you think? We can go over more after Tuesday. Let me know. Cute little heart at the end. This was 2 months after I almost wrote an email to Facebook staff saying I wanted to kill myself because the harassment was too much to bear and I really would like access to my old Facebook account, please. So if everything I just included was not enough proof for you, I don't know what to tell you, and I think you should move along. Now, I realize the number one thing that I can't prove here is how much involvement Shannon had in orchestrating the harassment. It is my personal belief that Shannon kind of had like this little sidekick role at the beginning. I feel like at the beginning it was kind of like an inside joke. I'm sure in Andrew's head it was more than an inside joke, but eventually Shannon just got too roped into it and it became an obsession for both of them, and then it just kind of spiraled out of control. I think when we see it really spin out of control, not to like minimize like the torment I had gone beforehand, but I'm just talking on like a greater scale, I think we really saw it get out of control when Shannon entered the YouTube space and started gaining some popularity. I do think she saw the success of my sketchbook story times. I wasn't doing that many because my sketchbook story times are not fake. I don't have an unlimited amount of fucking stories. So she saw a market there and she just was making tons and tons of them, pumping them out. It got her channel really popular. So then she started doing drama and commentary. That also gained her a lot of views and subscribers. And I think just the power went to her head. And I think she believed that she would never get caught for harassing me for so long. So she decided to start exerting that control in other places. In just
a fucking mental assumption. Okay.
A few of the videos that I've watched of her, she has mentioned having strict parents multiple times. So I think probably growing up, she didn't have a lot of control. And this was one place that she could have just complete and utter control over something. Now, I'm not saying this makes any of what she has done okay.
Fuck, what an assumption to make. Holy shit. Jesus, you're like fucking psychoanalyzing her. Fuck me.
I'm just saying, I was in a place very similar to her. I felt very out of control of my mind and my body, and a way to take it back was to kind of be a catty bitch. And even though my catty bitchiness was more on the level of delisted.com and less on the level of lolcow.com, I still had a lesson to learn, and I still had a lot to change about myself. And I will never stop reminding you guys of that. And even though it's sweet, I'm not a big fan of people being like, oh my gosh, you're so wholesome or non-problematic queen. I want to say no. Your faves are problematic, and so are you. And in a way, that's a good thing, depending on how you handle it. When you are confronted with the fact that you are making a problematic decision or a statement, you need to face it, and you need to take accountability, and you need to use that mistake to move on and do better. You cannot run from it, because it will catch up to you, whether that be from public retribution or from your own stunted growth. It will catch up to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm running on fucking empty. Don't forget.
Alright, I just fucking grew it like a massive tumor. It's like hanging off my head right now. Tuna? Tuna? Just fucking tuna! Right, Nick's talking about this. I have no idea what I was supposed to take away from the Emily video. Genuinely, it's lolcow stuff and some speculation. I clicked off for the last 30 seconds, so it was pointless. I'm pretty much exactly where I was before watching, because almost everything new was speculation of her involvement. Still looks like she was at least involved in some of what's happened. Sorry, still looks like she was at least involved in a lot of what's happened, but the evidence and valuable information. Why was that 2 hours, and why is my timeline creaming over this video? Yep, I will back that up. I think this was a pretty null video. I will say, however, it has convinced me a little bit that I think probably Shannon might be guilty now. The reason why is there was some stuff in this video that built onto the already circumstantial evidence that Shannon, right? So with the lolcow stuff, right? With the lolcow stuff, it was like, okay, there's these people who run a forum for crazy people, okay? If you're on fucking lolcow, I'm going to consider you fucking nuts, okay? And there are admins who run the crazy people forum who are coming out with an allegation that a big YouTuber is posting, like, about herself, harassing herself, saying horrible things about her friends. And to me, like, that sounds like a fucking lunatic allegation to me. Like, it sounds insane to me. Now, with some of the stuff in this video, and this is a really difficult video to judge because, as I said at the beginning, the fact that this is a real-life drama now. This is a real-life drama. Emily Artful used to be dating Shannon's ex or Shannon's current husband. It's not currently known whether that's the case. But the fact that this Emily girl is dating Shannon's, or was dating Shannon's ex-boyfriend or husband, it fucking puts a whole new spin on this, because it could be that this Emily girl is insane and she's the one making up all this shit about Shannon, or that Shannon's insane and she's the one making up all this shit about everyone else. Like, holy shit. So it really adds motive to why Emily might be lying, but at the same time, a lot of the circumstantial evidence in here makes me believe, like, that this was fucking Shannon. Like, it kind of fucking does. I believe Shannon is guilty to a degree. Honestly, yeah, it gave a little bit of a nudge and some more evidence, in quotation marks, that it was her based off of her behavior, but I like that it didn't need to be too. And that stuff about suicide was just so fucking childish. Like, holy shit. Like, holy shit. This isn't the first time it's happened. That's the scary part. Theory, Bill Baines is a lolcow moderator. I'd fucking... That suicide shit, man, that was fucking miserable. Like, why would you fucking say that shit? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, Shannon is in the wrong there, and then Emily is also in the wrong there. Like, they're both fucking morons. Fucking shits. I think they're both crazy people. In conclusion. What else was in here? There was a lot of just she said. Like, it was just like, trust me, bro. Like, that was the source. There was no screenshots for a lot of the stuff that was said in here. Now, in terms of, like, this shit here, like, how her stalker would know where she lives, like, this is something that I would... where she would live, but, like, this shit here was, like, pretty insane. I won't lie. Of someone, like, coming near where she lives or whatever, and then, like, fucking, I don't know, saying these, like, really scary messages. Like, that's pretty weird. I won't lie. Again, this could be made up shit. It's, like, very easy to fake this shit. Like, how do we know that she's not just gone outside and faked this about herself? And then again, like, what's the motive for that? Like, it doesn't really make sense as to why someone would do this. Why they would go to all that length to fake it about themselves. This is what's wrong with this situation. The fact that there isn't enough proof against anyone. There's not enough proof against anyone. I doubt Shannon has the proof to, like, fucking debunk any. She is a bit of a moron. In terms of this stuff here, the homeless shit, I thought that was an awful point to bring up. Like, in a video where you're making a rape allegation, do you really want to be making a semantic debate about the word homeless? Probably fucking not, let's be honest. And then do you want to also, like... I didn't think that was a good thing to bring up. I thought that was really fucking dumb. I think it didn't help her case. She made an allegation in here that Shannon and Anthony, Shannon's husband or boyfriend, I'm not sure, but she made the allegation that they drove her into homelessness and then did nothing to back up the allegation. I'm not saying that she has to prove that Shannon and Anthony made her homeless. I'm obviously not fucking saying that. What I am saying is, like, you might want to elaborate on that story a little more, right? You might want to turn around and be like, well, it happened in June of 2015 when they were sending me these messages, and, like, elaborate on the story a little more. And then if there are messages or there are things that they did that you can prove your allegation with, that's going to help a lot. That's going to help a lot. I think Shannon's ego overtook her. Billy Bean says, Amy, the fun parts for me is when you shout truth, Sleuth. Fuck that bitch. I'm like 80% sure she made the pedo news comment. And if she didn't, then, like, fair enough, and I'll happily apologize to her. But, like, I'm 85%, I'm like fucking 90% sure. I asked BWC the other day whether or not she made that comment, because I was so fucking sure, but I couldn't quite remember. And he said, yeah, like, he was pretty sure. Fuck her, like, regardless, fuck her. The 2-hour video boils down to source, bro, trust me. That, a little bit of, like, disingenuous stuff, not disingenuous, a little bit of, like, I think her emotions maybe getting ahead of her, which I can fully understand if she's, like, making a rape allegation. Like, I can fully understand that, and where she's coming from. And I'm willing to give her a little bit of a leeway for that. But at the same time, it definitely throws into question some of the stuff that she said. And, like, for me personally, I'm not really going to be believing a word she says unless there's like hard evidence to go along with it, or like substantial amount of coincidental or like coincidental evidence. Well, not coincidental, I can't think of the word, but yeah. Exposure equals clicks. Even if she had proof, she's outright refused to provide it to anyone who could help her. That's the problem with Shannon. Is I said this in the previous stream, and look, if you think this is a batshit insane take, then I'm sorry, but like I fucking stand by it, right? I don't think it's unreasonable for someone with mental illness, like who has talked about having mental illness in the past, to struggle with a massive situation like this, and to struggle to bond and deal with it in like in any manner whatsoever, because you know, like I can very much I sympathize with CreepShowArt as John's form. I don't know what you sent me. Kitten, fantastic. I was gonna call you Kitten. Well, that's reserved for Jada. What's weird is everyone seems to be totally swayed by the video. I see people saying, I think Shannon is guilty now, no doubt in my mind. I don't get how this video did that for them. I'm not sure. Even if she had like, I don't think it's an unreasonable conclusion to come to that you might like that you think that Shannon is guilty because of this video, right? It's like just like circumstantial evidence after circumstantial evidence is like building up, right? It particularly not in general, but like from this video, and also circumstantial evidence of like her poor response, which doesn't necessarily mean that she's guilty, but like it's like partially incriminating, right? And then also what her friends have been coming out and saying on Twitter. All of this evidence is like building up and stacking up and stacking up on her. There's a reason why last week, when only the lolcow mods admins came out and were like, yeah, she's done all these things. There's a reason why I wasn't convinced then, but I'm like, I'm kind of convinced now, right? It's because of all the stuff, like the stuff that's come out of the last week from her friends, but also her poor response, and also this video with some of the circumstantial evidence that leads me to believe that she might be a bit of a fucking psychotic witch. So I can understand like people coming to that conclusion based off of like the mountain of circumstantial evidence that's building up against her that makes her look really bad. But to say that you're completely convinced off this video alone, I'm not gonna hold your judgment in very high regard. Kid and Fantastic. Anything? It's behind the stuff that changed. It's behind the stuff that changed my mind. This video unironically painted Artful in the worst light. I can understand her being emotional if she truly believes this, and I think that she truly believes it. So I can understand her making a few. Anything in particular, like the stuff about her saying "Don't defend me" to friends. Maybe I missed it while I walked my dog, but I heard absolutely nothing of Emily going to the cops to report the stalker whilst taking pictures. It was, yeah. I want a Dateline video. Like she knew this guy talked about shooting up schools, being sent creepy pics of a house, was telling her, was having her kids threatened, and yet no cops. Bizarre behavior. Why you wouldn't go to the police over that? It is bizarre behavior. Like, I get maybe, and I'm not saying that she faked it necessarily, but like, it is pretty fucking weird. Like, I get that maybe she doesn't want to take the abuse to the cops, yeah, but God, she could have totally gotten somewhere without the stalking stuff, I'm pretty. Ryan Kinder, inconsistencies amongst those things that she told people. In my opinion, both are pretty cringe and suspicious at the moment. More on Shannon's behalf. Hard follow podcast. I don't know about the fucking. I don't know. I am very tired. A long ass stream though. Holy shit. What are we looking at? 3 hours? 3.5 hours. I was gonna talk about some other things, but I will save them for a future stream. Because I'm getting quite tired. It's getting a little bit late here. I need to go make some dinner. Like a drink because my throat's hurting a little bit. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it, as always. I will probably stream in a couple of days' time again. There were some things that I wanted to talk about. I don't know whether the stuff that I'm going to talk about in a couple of days' time is now going to be outdated. But what day is it today? Saturday? Saturday. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow then if it's Sunday. That'd be good. But yeah, we're gonna end it here. To be honest, in the States they don't do a lot of online stuff. The cops, I mean. That's fair. GG. GG, good stream. Another nuanced stream. I think I have pretty nuanced takes, right, Kinder? You know, when we first started talking, I thought that you saw me as some sort of, like, far-right, like, fucking alt-right wacko or something. And, like, I'm really not. I'm really not. Like, I have very liberal ideas. I would just consider myself a conservative. Oh, shit, am I showing the timeline back? I would just consider myself a conservative, because I believe that conservative ideas, in general, but I don't subscribe to, like, a lot of... I don't subscribe to any of the fucking conspiracy theories. Like, I think those people are, like, insane. I don't subscribe to, like, the Trump mentality or any of that shit. So, like, I just, like... Here's where I come from, right? As a political ideology, I would consider myself a conservative. When it comes to modern-day politics and party politics, I'm very much a fucking liberal. Like, very much. But I think there's a big difference. Party politics and ideology. Right where I come from. Anyway, yeah. So I shall end it. Thank you for joining me. Have a lovely evening, or morning, or rest of your day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. And I will see you in a bit. Bye, bro. Bye. I'm ending the stream.